Game 3, the deciding game of the ABL Championship Series tonight, live from Adelaide, South Australia on beautiful Ghana land. The Claxton Shield is in the building and will be awarded tonight. My name is Eric Balnar. I'm pleased to bring in our stellar commentary team, and to help set the stage, we bring in award-winning sports broadcaster Phil Herden.
Thank you, Eric. G'day, baseball fans, wherever you're watching around the world. What does it take to be a champion? What does it take to dream, to plan, to train, gel, and then grind, travel, sacrifice, endure, and still stand the strongest at season's end? What does it take on the biggest stage at the most critical moment, where everything is amplified to deliver, to win? What will it take for the Perth Heat to shake off Game 2, to reset, to regroup? For to regain their reign, they must retain their poise and do it all on the road. What will it take for the Adelaide Giants, who have been here before, so close yet so far? They must overcome not just a worthy opponent, but a burden of history that stretches 43 years. What does it take to be a champion? Well, tonight we'll find out, because at game's end we'll have one. A worthy winner of the Claxton Shield, a champion of the Australian Baseball League.
Phil Herden setting the stage beautifully for tonight. We'll bring in our next member, and it's a guy that's represented both South Australia and Western Australia at the Claxton Shield, played in clubs in both of those states. And Watsy, you've been around baseball for a long time. I'm going to ask you first here, is the weight of 43 years hanging on these Adelaide Giants players, is that too much pressure?
Well, it's certainly weighing on a few of their minds, Eric. It's you know, obviously you get your imports in and some new guys here, but they actually get into the culture and get into the past history as well. So it definitely is weighing in on them a little bit. But you know, they're out here to play baseball. They're professional, and they're gonna do their best.
I mean, you can forget about the last 40 games. You can forget about the semifinal series. Both these teams 1-3 to get here. You can forget that Adelaide lost in Perth in Game 1 and Perth lost in Adelaide in Game 2. You can throw it out the window, because the entire season comes down to this. What is going to be the difference for you tonight that will magnify everything?
Yeah, it's a really good point. The difference for me tonight is definitely going to be the pitching, on who starts well, how deep they can go. We know that both pitchers are, you know, world class, and they're going to be performing. But to me, it's going to be the pitching with the bullpen coming through. The Adelaide Giants have had a stellar bullpen the whole time. So you know, we're really looking forward to actually seeing what both teams can bring. I love my hitting. I've always been that hitting guy, but you know, for me, it's going to be where the pitchers are at for both teams.
We bring in our fourth member of the commentary crew, Scott Pratt, member of the Adelaide Giants back in the old days at Norwood Oval. The Giants in those days never got as far as these Giants have right now. They woke up today with a chance to win the Claxton Shield. It's a completely different ball game than what we've seen before. What are you looking for tonight?
Well, it's going to come down to defense from me, Eric. You've got to make the plays. We talked about it before. Offense brings the crowds. Defense brings the championships. You've got to make those plays at the crucial times that don't give the opposition that sniff to open up the door to let things roll on. So really tighten the field. Guys have got to take a deep breath, savor the moment, look around, enjoy this. This is a great opportunity. Championship baseball is fun. It's enjoyable, but it's pressure. But pressure builds diamonds, and let's see who takes home the diamonds tonight.
It is two star-studded lineups. They have been hitting at a rapid pace. The Perth Heat, 114 runs in their last 15 games. These two teams are 1-2 when it comes to batting average, and the two hottest batters on both teams. On Perth, it's Jake Bowie. He had 2 home runs last night. Jordan McArdle, the South Australian captain, also had 2 home runs last night. I caught up with both of those gentlemen before their game to just hear what they were feeling, why they're so hot, and to take in the whole moment. Here's what they had to say. Jake Bowie and Jordan McArdle both echoing sentiments of bringing hold of the moment. Both of them talking about how great these teams are together, that they're the closest groups they've ever been a part of, and that good people make a big difference when you're trying to win a championship. Well, only one of them can win tonight. When you walk into the ballpark, though, you talk to fans from both teams, the Perth traveling party, the home team Adelaide people, you ask how they're feeling, all of them say one thing: I'm nervous, I'm sick, I'm anxious. You get those sentiments. Do the players feel that in these games, or are they sort of sheltered from it?
I think they certainly feel it early, you know, when they wake up in the morning and, you know, knowing that this is it, this is their last hurrah. No, there is no game 4. So there's certainly going to be those nerves. Those nerves right now will be settling a little bit, but it'll be like any other game. There'll be those just typical pre-game nerves. But, you know, they're going to settle in after that first pitch. And I think, you know, bringing back to what Scott mentioned earlier, it is going to be, you know, who settles in with the defense best and first, and also with the pitching as well.
In Game 1, the Adelaide Giants and Perth Heat played in Western Australia. The Heat won that game 9-5, both teams with 12 hits. Last night, 7 home runs between the two clubs, 5 for Adelaide, 2 for Perth. Giants win 9-2. Should we expect anything different tonight, or are we going to get another bash fest?
My call is it's going to be a very tight game today. I think you're going to see that what we saw last night in a championship game, you don't see that every day. You don't see that. Look back in the history, and there's not too many games where that ball bounces out like that. And also, you're going to see a lot of pitchers on a short leash today. There's a big bullpen for both teams. They're going to keep throwing guys out all day long.
Well, the teams have been announced. They're on the field. Another 2,000-plus crowd here. Baseballers are free in South Australia. It's a festival atmosphere with some championship intensity. The anthem, then the ball game. Let's get ready to go. Sense the moment. It's hard not to get excited when you're around an atmosphere like this. This is how, though, the teams will line up defensively. Scott Pratt, you said it's so important for the defense to be on song tonight. The Giants have rolled out the same defensive lineup all playoffs long. It wouldn't be any different for game number 3. Who are a couple players you're watching in this Giants lineup tonight?
Oh, Liam Spence excites me. He's a human highlight reel, the way that he goes about it. So athletic over there. I also like Carr and Ward, those two guys up the middle. They make some great plays as well.
Perth Heat, here is how they bat in order. Craig Watts, it is a heart of the order all down the lineup, 1 to 9. Is there one or two guys you're watching out of this Perth lineup?
Yeah, well, I'm going to have a look at TK, the leadoff man. You know, traditionally all year he's been setting, well, for the last 15 years he's been setting that team alight, had a real, you know, non-TK night last night. So I'm expecting him. I'm also looking at, you know, the guys like Eric Cosmer and Josh Reddick, you know, just seeing what their seniority is going to be like. So, you know, that's what I'm expecting.
The man on the mound is born and raised in South Australia. He is a professional player. He is one of South Australia's favorite sons in these parts, and he's had a big last finish, hasn't he?
He has. He has been absolutely stellar this calendar year. Just 1 earned run conceded. No earned runs in the last 3 games. For mine, he is the rainmaker. Has a double meaning. The rainmaker breaks droughts. Did it the under-18s, the under-16s. But now it's the Claxton Shield. Tim Kennelly at the plate. O'Loughlin on the hill. Let's play ball with the voice of Australian baseball, Eric Bonner.
The biggest game on South Australian soil in a number of years, and if Adelaide get it done, it will be the biggest game on South Australian soil maybe ever, the way this is tracking. Jack O'Loughlin, the South Australian, ball in hand. He delivers the first pitch to the modern-day Australian GOAT, Tim Kennelly, and we're underway with a Game 3 winner-take-all affair. Fouled back. Fellas, you've watched a lot of Jack O'Loughlin. When he's going well, he's one of the best. What do you look for on early signs to know if it's a switched on Jack O'Loughlin today?
He's very methodical. He has routines and he goes about that. Once he gets himself into a routine, you can see that he'll throw his strikes very well. Got that curveball that comes over the top and a great changeup as well.
Kennelly fouls one away, one of the best hitters we've ever seen in this country.
He certainly is. He's just been a stalwart, not only, being around the game, but, the performance that he's put on the big stage. So, as I said before, it's Perth going to look for TK to ignite something.
He ignited something in game number 1 right off the bat.
The all-time ABL hit, RBI runs and doubles leader.
Kennelly's won a pile of Claxton Shields, 6 in total, 4 in the modern day since the ABL returned. South Australia hasn't won one in 43 years. He's got a trophy cabinet that a lot of people are probably jealous of. O'Loughlin deals 2-2 count. That goes inside, and already Kennelly working up a count.
Yeah, he is, and a couple of good pitches there that just missed by Jack. He was disappointed with that 1-2 pitch, so he's just got to fight himself back.
Kennelly works it full. Knocked foul, and Tim Kennelly is already maybe showing early signs of what's to come today. It didn't take long to find a battle.
No, and this is the thing, right? It's going to come down to the hungrier team, and Kennelly just fighting and working through the pitches. He'll go back and he'll let the team know what O'Loughlin's throwing.
Kennelly fouls it back again.
His stats this championship series mirror the complexity of the 2 games. 3 from 5 in Perth, 2 runs, 2 RBI. Last night here, 0 from 4 with a couple of strikeouts.
Most dangerous offense in the league, especially in 2023, the Perth Heat. Kennelly over to first. Wingrove down on the trap, and a big defensive play early for the Giants.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. Wanting the ball to come to you and make that play, and you could see that.
Yeah, good defensive play there by Rickson. He was playing in a little bit, which was interesting with the 2 strikes, and hard hit ball by Kennelly and handled really well over there by Rickson Wingrove.
Connor Owings comes to the plate. He's 3 for 8 in this championship series, and another good import find that the Perth Heat always seem to do.
Yeah, a late comer. He's fitted into the number 2 hole. Brother Chris Owings, 700 Major League games.
Well, Chris Owings may have been in the show, but it's Connor Owings that is the show today. He's been a big difference maker in the first 2 games. Had the RBI, a crucial one in game number 1.
You can see that off-speed pitch, and that's the key for me with Jack O'Loughlin, getting that off-speed pitch working and keeping it low. That's going to be the key for some success from Jack.
Swing and a miss, and he gets him to chase. Mixing and moving.
Yeah, he's going to mix up those pitches really, really well. He's got the good 4-seam, good 2-seam fastball, off-speed pitch.
Check swing, did he go? No. 2 plucky at-bats in a row, though, from the Perth Heat.
Yeah, this is exactly what you want to see right here. You want to see him take as many pitches, see what they can do, have a look at what O'Loughlin can throw. But also Jacko's throwing some nice pitches as well. Keeping it down.
Owings cutting over to left field. Lattimore moving back under it. It's all the way to the track, but Quincy Lattimore brings it in. And you can get a sense from this crowd right away. It was a routine fly ball, and the crowd was holding their breath.
Yeah, I was out here early watching Perth take BP, and, I was talking to Andy Kyle, excuse me. And the ball was actually flying out really well out to left field. What they were talking about is starting that ball off the Good Life, that Good Life section out there, and it was coming across to where the the non-signs are. So, you know, that ball there last night, you know, might have been a different story, but just a little bit more wind tonight held it up.
Junior Caminero up to bat now, and this is a man that can absolutely decimate a baseball.
Yeah, so young, so much promise. We'll see him in the majors for sure.
14 home runs this year. Hit a few versus the Adelaide Giants, including in round one of the longest home runs you'll ever see, straight away center field at Empire Ballpark over in Western Australia. These are two very promising prospects going head-to-head. Jack O'Loughlin, a prospect with the Detroit Tigers, 22 years old, really starting to come into his own in the minor leagues, and a big season for him coming up.
Perth have really enjoyed having Caminero over this year. He's, you know, young and vibrant and provided some excitement for some of the guys that have been around for a little while. And, you know, they don't mind having that, you know, guy that's got that energy and strut, as you like to say. So, no, he's been a really good find, and, you know, possibly sometime that he might come back into the league.
O'Loughlin strikes him out. Caminero not happy at all. He is fired up. It took a while for Jack O'Loughlin to deliver that. Did he shake off a couple signals there, maybe?
Yeah, you could see that he was trying to get the pitch that he felt comfortable with, and they kept working right here.
Walk us through the replay, fellas.
So you can see him setting up low and inside, and he got exactly what he wanted coming across the plate. Spotted that nicely.
That's exactly what Quirin wanted right there. He set up really late too, Scotty. You can see actually how late he set up. You know, they were messing around there with what signs he was going to come in. He finally got what he wanted, but what I liked about Quirin on there, he really did set up late.
He set up late and he set up well, and at that point in time, you've got to be looking at swinging at that. Yeah. 2 strikes, open up the zone.
Two big leaguers in this lineup, and then a bunch of other Team Australia stars. Caminero going to the big leagues. Cosmo World Series winner. Owings has been one of the best imports this year. Bowie pounding the ball. Alex Hall, Team Australia catcher. Bayarski, Team Australia. Kennelly, Team Australia catcher. Josh Reddick, rather, in right field. He's won a World Series too. It's a loaded defense for the Perth Heat. Offensively, though, who are you looking for in this lineup for the spark plug for the Adelaide Giants?
Oh, look, Nick Ward's been the spark plug all year. He's the one that starts. He gets things moving. He gets things going. Get him on base. Get things happening.
Yeah, to me, look, the Giants have got to settle down now. Last night was something a little bit unusual for them, where they had the long ball work for them. They need to stick to the process, Eric, and make sure that they, you know, continue to get runners on, and, you know, just stay with their at-bats. Last night was a little bit unusual for them. Home runs come, you know, when you're swinging the bat well. So if they stick to their process, they'll score runs.
Brock Gilliam on the mound for the Perth Heat. He's worked deep into ball games all season long.
Yeah, this calendar year he's gone 4 2/3 inning on average, given up 23 hits in those 4 games, 7 earned runs. He can be got, especially in the first inning, where he's conceded 5 of those 7. Usually averages 83 pitches. So we'll see if he goes 4 or 5 tonight.
So the key for Brock Gilliam is he's got to settle into this game.
Yeah, I think that's the key with all pitchers. You know, it's do or die. Now, the only difference is going to be any affiliated ball players that have pitched in the last 2 days on how they're going to be used or whether they're allowed to be used. Everybody else, they're live.
Nick Ward will step up to the plate. He is on the short list for MVP candidates, the Helms Award winner, as it is called in Australia. He's been a tremendous story. He's hit 5 home runs from the leadoff spot this year, 11 on the season, but 5 to start a game. And anytime the Giants have needed a big moment, they've really looked to Nick Ward all year, haven't they?
They certainly have. He's provided that spark. You know, even over the last couple of nights, you know, picked up 4 hits.
That pitch inside, Ward backs away and gets some oohs and ahs from the crowd.
That was an on-purpose pitch. Traditionally, pitchers, you know, they'll try and find throw that strike the first pitch, but, you know, Ward's been jumping all over that first pitch traditionally since Christmas, so they just wanted to bring him off the plate a little bit, not getting too comfortable.
Ward fouls one away. Having a look at it is Caminero. It's going to go.
Wanted to mention before we get too far into the game, tonight's umpiring crew. Talk about teams under pressure. They're going to be right in the thick of it. Tom West at home plate, Matthew Pearson first base, Paul Ladder at second base, Trent Thomas is at third base.
Nick Ward will be suiting up for Great Britain. He's Philadelphia born, but his mom from the UK. He'll play on that national team. And that just finds the inside edge.
Yeah, not a pitch that Ward's looking for at this particular time. He's looking something to drive up the middle. And it's a tough pitch to pull right there, right on the black.
Ball and 2 strikes on Nick Ward, the now Philadelphia Phillies prospect. Attacking inside.
Yep, working it in, knowing full well that, as Craig mentioned before, he likes to drive that ball.
Yeah, get his hands extended. Yep. And very, very difficult to do that, especially early in the game. And crowding the plate, just trying to make him throw strikes.
Ward went after an inside pitch, just staying alive, fouling the one away.
Again, doing the leadoff thing, right? If it's not a pitch you can drive, just foul it off. Work the count. Really important at this point in time, as we saw from Perth as well. Get some deep at-bats here, get some high pitch counts up. Have a look at the pitcher, know what he's throwing.
Ward knocked over towards first, and a nice trap from Bowie, who flips to Gilliam. And just like the Giants in the first inning, the Heat get a really nice defensive play at first.
That was an outstanding play by Bowie, and if you have a look here, it's the second bounce that really causes trouble here. It really kicks on. For him to get that glove out ready, outstanding play, and well done by Gilliam getting over there as well as the pitcher does, taking first base.
The classic PF piece.
There it is.
Anthony Kirion, another one of the Philadelphia Phillies prospects in this Giants lineup. 4 in total in this starting 9. Kirion will take a first pitch ball.
Just on Gilliam, he gave up the most hits for the Heat in the regular season with 56. A little bit like Jordan Fowler for the Giants. Bent but didn't break a lot. 56 hits, just 18 earned runs from them.
Only 11 walks on the season, though, in those 53 and a third and a 3.04 ERA. So just like Fowler, contact hitter, or pitcher, but gets out of the jams quite easily. Well, he makes it look easy at least. Kirion settles in, 1-1 count. Kirion, Canadian. Fouled away again. Gilliam, an American. It was a nice discovery from the Kansas City Monarchs in the American Association.
Born in Kansas, played college in Kansas, went to Missouri, Kansas City, and then travels around the world to play down here.
He's not in Kansas anymore.
Just about to say the same thing.
Boom, boom.
He's pitching in a championship decider. The Perth Heat looking for a modern-day record, 5th Claxton Shield. That's one just in the ABL. They've won 15 as a state before, and this 8-year drought is one of their longest. That is how successful WA has been. Pales in comparison to SA's 43-year slump. Fouled away again, and just like the Perth Heat, there hasn't been a hit or a runner on base yet in this game, but everything is just tough early in this game.
Bit of early sparring, if you like. Just having a look, see what each other's got.
I'm liking it. I'm liking the aggressiveness and, seeing pitches and fouling off the ones I don't want.
Up the middle, knocked over towards Owings. He'll make the play, 2 up, 2 down to start the inning. Rickson Wingrove will come up to bat. And one thing that's been a theme in this series has been 2-out hitting. The Perth Heat, they won the game by 4 runs in game number 1, but it was the 4th inning when there was nobody on. They had a rally. They ended up scoring 4 runs, all with 2 outs. 6 runs batted in with 2 outs during the game. In game 1, they win it. The Giants got a big 2-out home run from Jordan McArdle. In fact, they had 3 2-out home runs during the entire game. They had another big 2-out hit from Rogers. The team that's better with 2-out hitting, probably going to win this game. Gilliam landing the first pitch strike on Rickson Wingrove.
Yeah, and that's what you want from your pitching staff is get ahead. First pitch, get ahead.
3 from 9 this championship series so far.
Wingrove from Newcastle. He's always been a hot shot junior prospect. The under-18 national championships. He won the player of the tournament playing for New South Wales Country. Got signed by the Phillies. Has been an affiliate ever since. And again, Gilliam attacking these batters inside.
Yeah, just offsetting him a little, making sure. Last night we saw him come out free swinging, and he saw that approach, and Perth are mindful of that and making sure they go inside just keep them off their toes.
Strike thrown on the inside. Wingrove settles in on the 2-1 count. Swing and a miss, and Brock Gilliam gets a strikeout to end the inning. Both teams going 1-2-3, but a gritty start from both of the ends. We're in for a treat today. It's Game 3, Claxton Shield on the mound. You're watching the Australian Baseball League.
My trend for today definitely is adverse to the way we look at risk. Gallagher really showed me that I was probably not in the best position with the way I was around my broker and the information I was getting fed. I sleep a lot better now knowing that Gallagher's got my back.
Back at the ballpark. It is a 0-0 game. Both pitchers getting 1, 2, 3 innings. Jack O'Loughlin on the mound right now, the South Australian Detroit Tigers prospect, and he's been very good in 2023.
He has, and the beautiful thing is that he's got better as the season progressed. Maybe a little bit shaky early. His ERA is now 3.27, just the 8 earned runs given up. As I said, 7 of those are in 2022, just 1 in 2023, and also didn't give up an earned run against Auckland. He's already played in a Game 3 decider just last week against the Tuatara. Seems like a long time ago, but it's been it's been a very tense time. And first inning, Game 1, Perth scored, went on to win. Game 2, Adelaide scored, went on to win. No one scored. Let's see what happens.
Well, leading things off is the meat of the lineup. It starts with Josh Reddick, a 12-year MLB veteran. He's won a World Series with the Houston Astros. Ulrich Bojarski and Alex Hall will follow, 2 MVP candidates. This is a very tricky middle of the lineup.
Look, any ball club that's made the Game 3 of the playoffs, the final playoffs, they're always going to have a good lineup, 1-3-9, but this Perth Heat lineup right now is pretty tough.
Sure is, isn't it? Look at Jake Bowie, who sits in the 8-hole that hit 2 monster home runs last night. So depth all the way through their lineup.
Reddick, along with Jake Bowie, the only multiple hit players from last night. Reddick 2 from 4.
And he's just taking a different approach now. He's just waiting to see a strike and get his pitch and just show some seniority and see if he can get a leadoff runner on. And that he does.
First base runner of the game.
Yeah, 4 balls in a row.
Is that some nerves from Jack O'Loughlin?
Look, it's also respect. You don't want to give Josh Reddick a pitch that he could drive. So he's working around the edges. Tight zone, and he's working that zone and just missing. So it's not a pitch that you want, a hitter that you want to be just given a pitch to drive.
Had a good ratio in the regular season. Well, Lachlan, 7 walks, 26 strikeouts. It's about 3.7 to 1. We know playoffs can be a different story. And here's the 2 offensive threats, the big ones coming up now. Bojarski and Hall. They've done so much through the regular season, so much when they travel to Brisbane, but Bojarski is 1 from 9. Hall is 0 from 7, and I almost think the key to this game, if these 2 can be contained one more match, Adelaide would like their chances. If they explode, as they've done in Adelaide previously, then that Claxton Shield might be heading west.
Yeah, agree with you there, Phil. I think that this is the key here where, Jack needs to settle in a little bit and, throw some, stay to his process, stay to his game plan that he would have talked to Anthony Curion and Tyler, Mark, the pitching coach, prior to the game. Just not get too out in front, not too in front of himself and think too far down the track. Use the old cliche, batter by batter.
That's it.
Boyarsky gets set. The first runner is aboard. Fouls one straight back.
What's interesting is the wind. I'm trying to get a feel for the wind. At 1 minute, it's coming across left to right from third base to first base. Then it comes back in this way. It's really gustily and all over the place. So quite an interesting factor here at West Beach. Nice pitch.
Last night, Boyarsky, Hall and Cosma were 0 for 11. Bowie, when he came up and hit 2 home runs, okay, only 2 runs because none of the players ahead of him were on.
Yeah, good call, Phil. That's exactly what Chris Adamson was very happy with, shutting down the power of Perth Heat.
Lachlan's got a couple strikes on Boyarsky. Could be teammates at the upcoming World Baseball Classic.
No running threat over at first base.
Swing and a miss. Big strikeout from Jack O'Loughlin, his second of the day.
Yeah, we talked about that off-speed pitch with Jack O'Loughlin's, and he used it well, set up Boyarsky there. Good at bat, really, but that off-speed pitch was a bit tough to handle.
Alex Hall, 0 for 7 in this championship series. It does feel like a matter of when and not if.
And he's got the batting title, averaging 360 for the regular season.
Also led the competition in on-base plus slugging. A switch-hitting catcher, Australian on a championship caliber team. I think Alex Hall's got a resume for Helms Award.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Eric, have we got any stats on his left versus right? Because last night, obviously left-handed. Night before, only had that 1 or maybe 2 at-bats on the left-hand side from
Phil Hurden on it. Maybe.
I will have it, I hope, by his next at-bat.
Nice work, Phil.
You're not going to go back and count all his hits and
Well, that's an option.
The one's in red and the one's in blue.
Certainly is a nice tool to have, isn't it?
Well, walk me through the process of that, of when you wake up, you see the pitching matchup. How do you know which side of the plate you want to be on today?
When you're at this stage of your game, it doesn't feel any different. Not that I know. I did try switch hitting myself when I was younger, mid-teens, and certainly worked very hard on it, but it didn't feel as natural as what I did right-handed. So, these guys at this level, it wouldn't feel any different. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it. They'd feel just as comfortable on one side as what they do on the other.
And are you just reading matchups and figuring out which side?
Yeah, well, obviously, with the left-handed pitcher, you want to be the right-handed hitter. You don't want that lefty-lefty factor, and that's the big play between the two of them.
3-1 count. Hall up the middle. Nick Ward can't make the defensive play. Reddick's going to advance to third. And defense magnified early.
Yeah,
could have been a double play ball. Instead, it's 2 runners on.
100% there, Eric. It just got rid of it before he had it. That's all it is right there. Just that. I think he didn't expect to see it come to him that
No,
easy.
well, I mean, he was covering second base on the potential throw over with Reddick taking the base there, and the ball actually came to him. So you can see that he had to move the other way. So he'd almost overran it a little bit.
Well, you talked at the beginning of the broadcast about wanting to see which team would make a defensive slip up early. Well, the Adelaide Giants have maybe just made a costly mistake, and the Perth Heat have been as good as anybody this year on making teams pay. And they've got a good punisher at the plate right now, and he's hot, Pete Cosma.
Yeah, Pete Cosma knows exactly what to do in these situations. This is execution 101. So as you can see, the middle infielders are playing for a double play. Cosma's going to look to drive a ball in the outfield to score.
Cosma, a longtime MLB veteran, mainly with the St. Louis Cardinals. won a World Series in 2011. He's been back to the Australian Baseball League. This is his 3rd season as an import. He absolutely loves it in this country. The silence in the ballpark is deafening.
It's outstanding. This is what it's about. This is on the edge of your seat right here. And we do have baseball royalty. It's great to have guys like Cosma and Reddick coming into the game and coming into ABL baseball. Just gives us that little bit more prestige in our competition.
Grounded up the middle. Nick Ward charging on. Ward scoops. He'll make the play at first, but the Heat have scored the first run of the ball game.
Well, that's one of those unlucky hits that doesn't get the double play because he's got to come and get it, scores the run. So that's execution right there from the Perth Heat. An outstanding work. Cosma will be happy with that.
Yeah, and it goes to show, you know, the experience of the team that they've got right now with, you know, Reddick coming on and picking that 4-pitch walk. You know, that error, that's going to be costly. So we talked about free bases, and there was 2 free bases. They score a run on no hits.
And what I liked about Cosma there is he's a big legger, right? But he was just trying to execute. He wasn't trying to lift and separate. He wasn't trying to smash the ball out of the park. He knew he had a job to do, was to put that ball in play to score the run to get one up for the Perth Heat.
2 outs now, but a runner in scoring position, and Jake Bowie has had a phenomenal series. That ball slips away, and another free base.
That's 3 this inning.
The walk, the error, and now the pass ball.
Yeah, well, that'll go down as a wild pitch, won't go down as a pass ball, but, you know, Creon tried to get off to the right side, and it's tough to block that fastball, you know, when it's coming in, but I actually expect Jack to pitch Bowie a little bit fine. I don't think he's going to give him too much to hit, and
100% Craig, he's got to work that edges. And if you put him on, you put him on.
Slashed over towards third. It buckles Spence a little bit. He's got to make the play across the diamond, and the Perth Heat have taken a 2-0 lead. They've taken a 2-0 lead, and there's not been one ball out of the infield.
Yeah, that was a tough play on the dirt. It just sort of took a little bit of a bobble right there as he went to field it and caught him with his feet. One of the things you talk to an infielder about is being light on your feet. Use your feet, move with the ball, especially when it hits that dirt. You've got to be moving around, and he got caught. You could see one knee down.
Yeah, Scotty, you know, you've played a lot of third base in that left side too. When you've got a traditional pull hitter up at the plate, is your mindset just a little bit off that you're not expecting the ball a little bit? He just seemed like he wasn't set, ready for it. I was expecting.
No, you could see that. And your mindset's got to be ready for that. You've got to be light. You've got to be ready to move, especially with dirt. And you know the ball does bounce around. It's not that grass that comes through nice and smooth.
Will Simonite up to bat. Big moment in this ball game. The Perth Heat have been so good at putting up big innings this year. 2 is still manageable, but 4 would put the Giants in a big, tough spot and be trademark Perth Heat baseball.
Well, you talked about it earlier too, Eric, and when they've scored 2 runs with 2 out. Again.
And that pitching coach coming out for the conversation. I'm not sure there's that much to say to Jack O'Loughlin. It's been some infield issues that have caused the runs. Probably more like a basketball timeout just to stop the momentum and settle the nerves for everyone.
Phil, that's a really good point too. You know, he would have actually gone out there and just said, "Hey, you're doing a great job. You're doing what you've been meant to be doing. You know, you're getting ground balls. You're getting soft contact, and stay with the process."
Good point, Craig. Soft contact. Nothing has been hit hard.
Simonite's got AAA time. Played with the Oakland Athletics. Made it as high as AAA this last season. Getting a nice little stint down under. He's been platooning in catching position that last part of the season with Alex Hall. Hard hit ball, but it goes foul.
It's an interesting proposition. Would you like to come to Australia, play for 6 weeks and possibly win a title?
Not
and fly
a bad
back.
call. And live in Perth.
And live in Perth.
Tough life for Will
part of the
Simonite.
world. Or be home in the cold winter.
Feels more like a rhetorical question.
That's right.
Runner was going, but it's fouled back.
Yeah,
Full
right.
count, so the runner's going to get a good jump.
Right now you can see what Perth Heat are going to do is they're just going to start to put a little bit more pressure on the Adelaide Giants, on their defence, on Jack O'Loughlin. And as we've mentioned, he's doing a good job. He's throwing his strikes. They know strikes are coming.
O'Loughlin shakes off a couple signs. Grounded up the middle. Mikey Martinez moves onto it, has a look at second, makes the play at first. The Perth Heat have the first 2 runs of the game. Nothing left the infield, but 2 runs on the board. Now, the question is how do the young Adelaide Giants respond with their middle of the lineup coming up?
Well, what's really important for the Adelaide Giants is to do, and we saw what Perth Heat have done, is take pitches, and Adelaide Giants have done that as well. So it's now, the last thing you need is a short inning. You're to take pitches, work the count, make sure that the pitcher throws to you.
Yeah, the Adelaide Giants now, they're just going to sit down and, regroup a little bit. They've got to score to win anyway, right? So,
right.
They're 2 runs. They're out there to score more runs than what the Perth Heat have got right now. So, they'll settle down.
Well, there's always a saying when a team scores some runs early in the game, as you say, you've got to score 1 to win. Might as well score 3 to win, right?
Quincy Lattimore, Jordan McArdle, and Mikey Martinez will be due up for the Adelaide Giants, and tremendous amount of experience in those 3. Lattimore, almost 2,000 pro games. Mikey Martinez has played in 6 MLB seasons and has played in a World Series. Jordan McArdle is 4 for 8 in the series. So this middle of the lineup pretty dangerous for the Adelaide Giants.
Yeah, they are, and they've got to stay confident. Got to shake this off, the 2 runs, take a deep breath, realise in championship baseball, both teams are going to have their moments. And that might have just been Perth's moment, and now you've got to wait for your moment, you've got to be ready for it and attack.
Well, Brock Ilian would be happy that he's got some run support. He can leak a little bit sometimes. He had a very interesting game. He got the Game 3 start last week. Do-or-die semi-final against Brisbane. He gave up 3 runs in the first inning and then solidified, didn't give up anything else for the rest of the contest. We know that the Perth bats blew the Bandits away. And here they are, gunning for a Claxton Shield tonight.
You also know for certain that Warwick Softhold is probably going to be the first one out of the pen for the Perth Heat. Quincy Lattimore, though, steps in. Lattimore's 4th stint in the Australian Baseball League as an import. He celebrated his 31st birthday on Friday night.
It's been a handy pickup for the Adelaide Giants this year.
First came to Adelaide 12 years ago, Phil Hurden.
It's just staggering to think of. And I know that we've got different landmarks, the Bennett Field, the Mark Hutton Grandstand. I reckon we'd have the Quincy Lattimore left field foul pole. Hits a lot of homers there.
Takes a strike right down the middle. Makes it a 2-1 count.
I had a good chat with Quincy prior to this game, and this game, this series means just as much to him as any other player on this ball club, and in this stadium right now. So he's keen, really keen to make something happen.
Well, he's taken a few pitches, very symptomatic of that 1-2-3 inning that Gilliam had in the first. He got all 3 outs, but Adelaide worked deep into counts.
This is a good at-bat. He took 2 fastballs, took him to work this count to this full count.
And he just stays on it enough to get another pitch.
This is exactly what we talked about, the importance of, okay, Perth Heat have gone and scored a couple of runs. Adelaide Giants have to get some momentum back, and to have a good at-bat like this is pretty impressive from Quincy Lattimore.
Lattimore over to third, and it gets by Caminero, and it's going to rattle up all the way to the wall. Lattimore around first. Lattimore will stand up on second with a leadoff double.
Great piece of hitting by Quincy. As you said, Scotty Pratt just brought that, took him really deep into it, got the pitch that he wanted to hit. Didn't hit it overly hard, but found the gap, something that they haven't been doing for a couple of weeks, finding that gap in the field.
Yeah, certainly. Caminero just a little slow on getting his feet across to that one. thought it just took a little bit of a dive on the dirt again.
Yeah.
Playing the dirt, it's a challenge, and you've got to be up for it.
Yeah. As we said, the Giants now have got to, do the little things and play a bit of small ball just to get themselves settled and score a run.
So you can see here, you can't pick it up on your screen, but second base is now.
McArdle goes after the first pitch. It's into foul territory. Caminero chasing it down and up against the wall, and a great catch in the banter bar, too. And fellas, when McArdle was walking up to bat, there was a huge buzz in the air, wasn't there?
There certainly was. And as I was saying, Eric, they've got him on the shift, and second base is playing shallow right field. Like, it's really, he's off the dirt. He's back onto the grass. So they're really understanding what McArdle can do.
McArdle 2 for 4 in game 1, 2 RBIs. 2 for 4 in game 2, 2 home runs and 4 RBIs. If the Giants do go on to win this Shield, he will be the poster boy for the MVP, you'd think. See what he does today. Takes a pitch on the inside, and his form at the end of the season was phenomenal.
Yeah, it has been, and he needs to stay with the process. And, we've spoken a lot about J-Mac and some of the things that he can do, and when he stays too true to his process, he's a dangerous hitter, one of the most dangerous in the league.
This season, we've probably seen Jordan McArdle go from a kid to a veteran, and the maturity that comes with it.
Yeah, he had to, that's for sure.
And you could say that about a whole bunch. I mean, Alex Hall on the other side, the exact same thing. He's gone from, junior player, and suddenly he's one of their offensive leaders.
2-1 count to McArdle. McArdle drives one to left field. It's back to the wall, back to the hill, and it's over the fence. You couldn't script it if you tried. The South Australian has brought the entire state to its feet.
J-Mac just staying with that pitch. He wanted a pitch that he could drive, and he knows that that left field is gettable, and just stayed on it and smashed it. J-Mac, homer.
Wow. Jordan McArdle, and now Mikey Martinez goes after a pitch. This is high in the air. It will be playable. And it's caught in center field. Jordan McArdle was in a bit of a scuffle. He stuck with the process. He went 9 for his last 21 to finish the season over his last 7 games. He hit 5 home runs, including 5 in a row. And Jordan McArdle now has 3 home runs and 8 RBIs in the championship series as the guy they call the captain. And I think he's probably earned that moniker now.
Yeah, he certainly has. He's been a great role model for the players in the Adelaide Giants, and not only role model in the team and getting them going, but out on the field, the way he's hit. To take that ball to the opposite field for him is outstanding hitting.
We talk about MVPs and guys that make a difference during championship series. Whether Perth Heat win this game or not, or Adelaide win this game or not, I think it's pretty hard to actually not give an MVP to someone that's had such an impact.
Carr swings and misses, and a nice little response from Brock Gilliam, who after giving up the home run, gets the shallow fly ball, and now gets a strikeout on Jared Carr.
Yeah, that's right. He has settled down really well, and a good pitcher makes an adjustment per pitch, not per innings. And the way that he has just come back, settled himself down, got the 2 outs, outstanding performance.
Yeah, and that was a difference that, unfortunately, the Perth Heat didn't make last night.
Yes.
When they gave out those couple of home runs, they didn't settle in, and they still left the ball up. But great to see that he's actually been able to come back and throw some good pitches and stay with his process.
Liam Spence fouls one straight back, a 5th-round draft pick of the Chicago Cubs, and he's only 24 years old, certainly one of Australia's brightest talents that's playing affiliated baseball in the United States. He'll be in the conversation for Rookie of the Year. Spence to third again.
You know, Eric, I expect to see a few more stories like Liam Spence in the next few years. We've had quite a few ball players go over to the US and go to, you know, 2-year colleges and then get picked up by, you know, Division 1, Division 2 colleges and play up and then possibly get signed. So we're going to see a lot more of that. You know, we talk about Max Stagg, who's going to, you know, college this year, and you know,
Travis
Pizzana. There's a couple of guys that are coming back from, you know, from their 4th year. So I expect to see the Australian Baseball League get stronger with those guys coming back.
Swing and a miss. Brock Gilliam gets him down, but the Giants respond to the Perth Heat's 2 runs with a Jordan McArdle big fly. It's a tussle for the Claxton Shield. We're tied after 2. We'll be back after this.
My transport today definitely is adverse to, you know, the way we look at risk. Gallagher really showed me that I was probably not in the best position with the way I was around my broker and the information I was getting fed. I sleep a lot better now knowing that Gallagher's got my back.
Back at the ballpark. I don't know what the official numbers are going to be, but it kind of looks almost the same, maybe even slightly bigger to last night.
If it's not the record, it's the second.
It's got to be. It's
over 2,000.
It's got to be close.
And what a night! What a day! Spent the day down at the Bay with Heat broadcaster Dan Vaughan, you know, showing some South Australian hospitality, and it was just glorious down there. Hardly a cloud in the sky. We're going to have another glorious sunset, and then come night time, the pressure will really be on.
Well, the first time through the lineups for both of these teams has been a complete arm wrestle. It's 2-2. Everything has had to be earned so far. Now it's the second time through the lineup. Is this where we start to see the leashes start to tighten a little bit?
Look, I'm going to actually bring you into when it was about the 4th or 5th inning last night when we started to have that grey sky. The grey sky, you look back to there, without the big black backdrop that they've got out there, it's going to be harder to see around about that 8 o'clock mark, which will be sitting around about that 6th or 7th inning. So I think it's going to be really important for both teams to look at scoring early, because whoever's in front coming into that 6th, 7th and 8th inning when that dark sky or that grey sky is coming is going to have an advantage. They really are, because speaking to some of the hitters after last night's game and earlier tonight, they are not looking forward to that grey sky.
It's an interesting game time, 6 p.m. Only one other game has been played at this time at this ballpark, and that was last week versus the Auckland Tuatara in a 4-2 win for the Giants to advance to the championship series. Kennelly, first pitch, tags one, deep left field to the wall. Lattimore running out of room, and he makes the catch just in time.
Yeah, Kennelly getting after that first pitch, and he's known for that and makes great contact, just puts it up a little bit high. You know, that might go out in a few other ballparks, but unfortunately not tonight. And for the Team Australian captain and GOAT, unfortunately, high fly ball out to deep left field for the first out.
Craig, it just sat up just that little bit too long, right?
Yeah, I think that goes out at Perth with the wind blowing out easy, but that wind's coming in pretty hard there. And anything that kind of gets right up there, where J-Max kind of stayed down a little bit. Right. Bit more of a line drive.
Connor Owens up to bat. That slips away. 101 miles per hour off the bat. Jack O'Loughlin's fastball, by the way, sitting at about 94 miles per hour right now.
Well, that's a good sign.
But when he's landing that pitch is when everything gets set up for Jack. 1-1 count.
Yeah, he's dangerous. He's, you know, I won't say unhittable, but he's as dangerous as any pitcher can be when he gets in front.
Hard hit ball over to first. That goes foul. The Heat scored 2 runs in the second inning off a walk, an error, and then another error.
So if you have a look at that, who's the better hitting approach right now? The soft hits of Perth, okay, they executed, but the hard hits of the Adelaide Giants. So it's a real interesting battle to see where this goes from here.
Well, it doesn't really matter what's happened because it's a
Nil
tied
all.
ball game in
That's
the third.
right.
Yeah.
The sounds of the live organist echoing around the ballpark at Dye Color Australia Stadium. Owings to right field. This is hard hit. It might drop. McArdle moving over, and it falls. Owings going towards second, and it's a double for Connor Owings.
Yeah, that ball there, it actually wasn't as hard hit as what it sounded like off the bat. Jordan was playing a little bit of a shade to center field rather than the line. And that ball there just drops in. It was still 30, 40 meters or feet in front of the home run fence. So as it came off the bat, I thought that had a chance, and then it just died. And
do you think the Heat batters can gain a bit of confidence knowing you see a ball, even if it's the opposition, go over the fence, knowing that you can drive something out of here?
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, they're as dangerous power-wise as the Giants are. I mean, both clubs provide power, but I think you can't go up there thinking power. Once again, Jack can take out of that at-bat that it was soft contact. It wasn't hard contact. It was very, very similar to his at-bat the first night on the Friday night in Perth. You know, he just got out in front a little bit and came off the bat what we thought was harder than what it was, and just dropped in there.
You want to talk power? Junior Caminero.
Yeah.
Had a stellar series in Brisbane, 2 home runs, 5 from 14, 8 RBI in the semi-final series. Already has won this championship weekend.
A highly touted Rays prospect, and he just misses that as it's fouled straight back.
And Caminero, most importantly, he probably led the Heat. Well, he did lead the Heat in RBIs, regular season tie with Alex Hall, 37. This is a big runner in scoring position opportunity with 1 out.
Just needs to drive something. Owens can move pretty good. Swing and a miss. Jack O'Loughlin striking out a highly touted Rays prospect, and it's 2 outs.
Yeah, O'Loughlin just showing maturity there and what pitches he wanted to stay with, and would have known exactly on how he was going to pitch each individual player that he's going up against tonight. And Caminero can be so dangerous with the power that he possesses.
Reddick up to bat now, and Jack O'Loughlin has attacked every batter he's faced except for Josh Reddick, who had a 4-pitch walk. And O'Loughlin, his mentality almost looked a bit different around the World Series winner. Throws a first pitch strike here, though.
Yeah,
he could have. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it gets a point in time where early in the game, and it's that game situation, it's that point in time with that at-bat. Now all of a sudden he's getting loose and he's feeling good about himself.
I think either way, this will be the final batter that O'Loughlin faces. An arm hot in the pen. Jack O'Loughlin has been brilliant for South Australia since he was a teenager. As a 14-year-old, he broke a 33-year drought for South Australia at the Under-16 National Championships. 2 years later, as a 17-year-old, he broke a 38-year drought at the Under-18s. He was the starting pitcher as his team tries to break a 43-year drought. O'Loughlin looking for one of the biggest outs of the game versus one of the biggest names in the game.
Yeah, this is a different approach right now, as, you know, when Reddick came up in that second inning.
Well, O'Loughlin calling time here, and he just called Kirion out.
Yeah, he'd just be going through just a process and knowing, you know, there's a runner on second base and 2 very experienced hitters and runners, you know, up here now. And not that it's a, you know, a done thing, and we can make a joke of it. Josh did play for the 2017 Houston Astros, and yes, it does still hurt as a Dodger fan. But, you know, there are things that they can do.
On the outside, first ball on Josh Reddick. Walked and scored.
The way Jack's been pitching, I think he feels there's some comfort with some certain pitches that he wants to let Kirion know.
Can the South Aussie deliver another moment, or will the World Series winner have his say? Flared into foul territory. Spence having a look.
I agree with your theory, Eric. O'Loughlin has averaged 63 pitches his last 4 outings. He's just about to hit 60.
And you know there's going to be a short leash going the second time through. If Reddick does something here, the Giants likely pulling the pin. If he gets out, he'll be out of the inning, and Jack O'Loughlin's day likely done. Here's the pitch from O'Loughlin. hard hit ball, deep right field, Reddick to the wall, and it is foul.
Two collective fan bases holding their breath.
I parked out there. That was way back.
Well, that
Way
was
back.
Reddick's pitch, and Jack O'Loughlin just got away with one big time.
He certainly did.
Now, does that put nerves into the young kid on the mound right now? Saying, uh-oh.
No, you know that sets him up, and you're thinking, okay, Reddick likes that ball inside. Now I'm going to go with lefty away.
What a battle. Blocked by Carry On. Now all of a sudden the count has worked to full. Or sorry, 2-2 count. Everybody was waiting for the umpire's signal. They'll do it again. Fouled away, and oh, what a great at-bat from Josh Reddick.
There certainly is, just showing his seniority and experience here. And you know, we talk about Jack, and you know, he's not a young pitcher anymore. He's been around. He's pitched 5 years in the minor leagues and battled through some players, and he would have faced big leaguers in spring training, and you know, none bigger than this situation. But you know, he's experienced enough to.
Crowd was looking for the call. Reddick's worked it full. This is now an 8-pitch at-bat, and it is an epic one. And you feel like the result of the game hinges a lot in one of these moments. With a runner on, 2 outs, a veteran at the plate.
Yeah.
It is a moment.
You've got an open base at first base too. I know that you've got a big power hitter, and you know, but if they are going to make a change, yeah, I don't. You know, I know that Kieran wouldn't be saying, let's put something down the middle for, you know, Josh Reddick to hit out of the ballpark. So, you know, once they got to that 2-2, 3-2, they'd be thinking, let's just try and put something outside and let him hinge, and especially with, you know, knowing that, you know, that was gonna be his last hitter. As you see Chris Adamson go out.
That'll be the end of the day for Jack O'Loughlin. He goes 2 2/3. These 2 runs he's allowed, they were unearned, but he's got 2 runs aboard that he would be responsible for. So the Giants, the first team to make the call to the bullpen. And look at this, the call that they're making. The Giants are bringing in their closer in the 3rd inning.
I spoke to Tank before the game and just said, what's the strategy? And he said, we've got arms up our sleeve, and who better? We'll bring him in whenever we need him. And if it's early in the game, we'll bring him in because we've got other guys behind him.
Well, the Giants' bullpen has been the best in the league, especially in the last part of the season. Entering the championship series, just 2 earned runs over the last 3 weeks. And Adam McKillican has just allowed 1 run in his last 10 appearances. He's been the closer, and he's got the big outs when needed. And this is just playoff baseball. You bring in your highest leverage guy at the most important moment.
And that's right. He's perfect at this situation. He knows what he needs to do, and he's ready for it.
Had 2 outings in the semis, closed game 1, closed game 3, gave up just 1 hit, no earned runs and a strikeout. 2 short innings, faced the minimum 3 in game 1 and faced 5 in game 2. And yeah, this is an interesting call, but
yeah, no, I
stop
think
it now.
I think one of the reasons why he's been able to go to McKillican this early is that he knows that he can still go 2 or 3. You know, that he's not going to be that 1 inning guy and whatever. So he wouldn't be bringing him on here just to, you know, finish this inning and go into the next inning. He would have hoped that Jack got through that last inning, which didn't happen. But he's got 2 innings, you know, trying to get into that 5th. You know, possibly bring out Ross. We've got
Van Steensel.
We've got Van Steensel.
Yep.
Just to back up your point, 2022 Spokane Indians, the Rockies A+ team. McKillican pitched 32 games and 44 innings, so plenty of occasions when he's gone more than just the 1. And he had an ERA of 1.84 in the process.
If you ever wonder if a winner-take-all baseball game, a deciding game of a season, is any different from a regular one, look at how this game is being managed already. Adam McKillican, the closer, coming in the top of the 3rd inning with 2 crucial runs aboard, and Ulrich Bojarski up to bat. Bojarski, first pitch swing. McKillican, more of a ground ball pitcher. He's part of the Rockies organization, and they drill you into you as a member of the Rockies organization, knowing that Coors Field, the ultimate destination, is a ballpark that has balls leave it at ease. Bojarski fouled away. 0-2 count.
What's been interesting is to see Perth Heat coming down with the speed gun, the radar gun on both pitches. Get some information back to the dugout to let guys know what speed these guys are throwing at.
It is a thing, you know, when these guys are playing in the US, they do have those statistics available to them on the field more than anything. So, you know, for these guys, especially the guys that play in the big leagues, they know exactly how hard someone is throwing.
Swing and a miss. McKillican comes in and gets a big strikeout, and the managerial move from Chris Adamson pays off.
Yeah, he was always going to do that righty-righty matchup, and you know, you called it early when you saw him warming up in the pen, and it was certainly a good move.
Well, there always is that theory, is you can leave them in too long. You can't take them out early enough at times, and perfect timing, as you said, Eric, to make that change, to keep the momentum going for the Adelaide Giants.
Yeah, you're certainly not getting the starters, you know, going as long as what they used to in any level now. It's almost like they're just a bit of an opener going through that 3 to 4 innings. I know the games that I've been a part of this year, and you know, you're just not seeing them going into that 6th and 7th inning. You know, if you've got the arms to use, why not use them? And if you've got faith in your pitching staff, which the Adelaide Giants do, the Perth Heat do, and any team at this kind of level does, they're going to use them. There's no point. There's no die wondering. Let's you know, not make the change early rather than thinking about it.
Well, the other thing it does is the hitter doesn't see the same pitcher a number of times. He always knows you work him through and get 8 in the count. You see him 3rd or 4 at-bats. Makes a difference, whereas you did. Yeah. Oh.
And that's great to see Josh Reddick out there. I know you guys were watching that, but Josh Reddick just wanted to have some fun, and you know, he went out there and tackled him. That is fantastic, mate. You are a legend, and it's been great having you here this year.
That is amazing.
He'd be a fun guy to hang out with. You know, I actually watched him play for the Savannah Bananas. Now, people that don't know about the Savannah Bananas, do yourself a favour and go and follow them on Instagram, follow them on Facebook. Yeah, we've got an ex-Major League veteran here in the middle of a game, Game 3, having some fun. You know, he knows it.
He wants to let the kids win.
He wants to let the kids win, and he's sitting there having some fun, and that is fantastic. Josh Reddick just won some hearts for me, mate. That's fantastic. Good on him.
That's a classic.
Yeah, the Savannah Bananas. Get on it.
That is a classic.
I think I've just about seen everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's put a smile on my face, boys.
And the sumo man maybe jump up and tackle him back down to the ground and pop a shoulder.
It just goes to show that as big as a game this is for so many people, it's still a game, and it's meant to be fun. But if that doesn't tell you the mindset of this Perth Heat right now, what more telling is that you have a guy that's won a World Series that's just almost sending the message in that, like, guys, relax. It's just a game.
Exactly. You know, you put it in perspective, and for people that don't know, that as we see a ground ball to third base, that was foul. But you know, imagine, you know, one of Australia's cricketers, you know, playing against West Indies or something
Andrew
like that.
Simon, the late Andrew
No, but that was in a different. That was a different concept. You know, that was a little bit more in anger, but you know, just imagine if there was something there, and yeah, that was fun.
Jared Rogers fouls it away. You want to talk about mid-season acquisitions? Well, Jared Rogers stepped in for Arturo De Freitas, who was the import catcher for the Giants when he got hurt in round 4. As an emergency replacement, that was maybe just going to be for a game or two. A guy that's been dominating in Victoria. he came in here just to be a stopgap, and everybody loved him in the dugout. He hit 2 home runs in one of his first games, and now he starts in the deciding game of the season.
Just supposed to be a fill-in. We had a double-header. We needed 2 catches to get through that, and he's back and he's contributing, which is fantastic.
Rogers up the middle. Will it fall? Charging on is Tim Kennelly. What a catch! Tim Kennelly, the Australian team captain, robs a base hit, and the Perth outfield standing up.
TK just continues to amaze baseball fans and baseball people around the country, just on the ability, not only offensively but defensively. You know, talk about a guy here that leads from the front, and you know how hard that is to run in and take that ball, and he's done it twice in 2 nights.
That's right. We know that's not a fluke because we saw the exact same thing yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. And he played it exactly the same. You could see him bust in hard and run hard at that, not hesitate, not doubt. He's got it straight away.
That'll give more confidence to the pitcher, Brock Gilliam, who's now working through the lineup for the 2nd time. He's allowed just a double to Lattimore on the home run to McArdle. 3 strikeouts on the game. Other than that, he's been pretty good. Nick Ward 3 for 4 in game 1, 1 for 4 in game 2.
You're just seeing this game take a little bit longer than what, you know, has been. Last night was a relatively quick game, and, you know, coming halfway through the 3rd and we're an hour and a bit in, and so, you know, guys are just taking their time and longer at bats, which is what I love to see.
Rides it inside, and you can see the respect that Gilliam has for Nick Ward too.
Yeah, he certainly does, and he keeps working him inside just to get him off the plate, make him feel a bit unsettled.
3-0 count. Ward swung at a 3-0 pitch in Perth. It was a hit. And he'll swing here. He'll take it to center field. Kennelly moving back. It should be playable to straightaway center field. Tim Kennelly makes the 2nd out. You can feel that coming.
Yeah, that's the only part of the ballpark, you know, really, we spoke about it off broadcast on, you know, exactly where the wind's kind of coming from, and anything kind of, you know, right of the Zambrero sign left center and the dome sign at right center, it's just going to hold up. You know, that was a hard hit ball, probably the hardest hit ball we've seen tonight. And
104 miles per hour off the bat. Yep. You're right.
Just a bit of dead man's alley out there, isn't it, really? You know, you kind of, center field has always been, you know, an area where you practice and you want to hit hard and you do things, but just here you just very rarely see the ball go over the center fielder's head. You can actually see how, you know, he's playing normal.
Yeah, that's right.
Field dimensions here for those that are watching this venue for the first time. 320 to the foul poles, 400 to center field, 390 sort of to left center, right center.
Tipped over to short. Cosma gathers and fires. It's a 1-2-3 inning. A fun one, though. Started with Reddick making a stop on the sumo suit in right field and had a couple Tim Kennelly highlights in the middle of it. It is a tied ball game. Game 3, the decider. You're watching the Australian Baseball League at ondemand.baseball.com.au.
My transport today definitely is adverse to the way we look at risk. Gallagher really showed me that I was probably not in the best position with the way I was around my broker and the information I was getting fed. I sleep a lot better now knowing that Gallagher's got my back.
Back at the ballpark, a 2-2 game. Giants allowed the first 2 runs of the game. No hard hit balls hit off Jack O'Loughlin in the 2nd inning, but a walk and a couple errors proved costly. Just one ended up being credited as an error. The other probably an infield hit. Either way, soft contact scores 2 runs. Jordan McArdle tied the game up almost instantly with a 2-run shot to tie it at 2 in the 2nd. But the big moment was with runners on 1st and 2nd in the 3rd. Jack O'Loughlin taken out of the game, and then the Giants closer, Adam McKillican, coming in. Giants trying to win it with a bullpen game. Perth have 2 starters up their sleeves. They've got Brock Gilliam. They've got Australian big league veteran in Warwick Saupold. Could be very interesting.
Yep, and all the relievers that they played on Friday night are fresh to go. And I have a theory, Eric, that if you really need a certain reliever that pitched last night, they're going to come on tonight with so much at stake.
Adam McKillican will come back in. He got a strikeout of Ulrich Bojarski to end the third. He'll face Alex Hall, could be the Helms Award winner, Pete Kozma, a World Series winner, and Jake Bowie, a guy that hit 2 home runs. And I give you their resumes because this is the 6, 7, 8 part of the lineup of the Perth Heat. It doesn't really seem fair to opposition teams.
Oh, no doubt about it. You start going through, rightio, where are we at in the lineup? Oh, 7, 8, 9. Oh, hang on a minute. Who have we got?
And
Pete
Alex
Kozma.
Hall, who started the game, by the way, on the right-handed side, is now switching to the left.
Yeah, that's right. He's just, obviously, that's changing the pitching, changing arms. So righty v lefty, lefty v righty. That's his
Well, v
setup.
lefty's 262, v right he's 402 average this season. That's a pretty big difference.
He'll take the first pitch. It's down low for a ball.
And of course his average against everybody, 360, the highest in the entire Australian Baseball League.
Hall holds off on it. He's got one of the best eyes in the game.
It's going to be interesting, their approach right now. How do Perth Heat handle this? Do they work counts? Do they look at what they can get? Do they get him deep to get rid of another pitcher to get into the pen again?
McKillican comes back with his first strike of the at-bat.
Just settling in right now.
This would be not normal territory for Adam McKillican. I'll explain in a second. Normally when he gets his important out, it's to finish a game and his day is done. He doesn't often finish an inning, go back to the dugout, and come back out again. Does that play any factor into McKillican's approach today?
He has done other things before in his career, but you're right, Eric. It's like his demeanour is like, come out, get those 3 outs, and that's his psyche. But obviously it's a different situation right now. He's in a different role for the Adelaide Giants at this point, so he's got to go about it differently.
And
but he's still got to throw strikes.
And with McKillican coming out, he is the last of the recognised Adelaide Giants pitchers on the lineup for this series, with the exception of an interesting insert for this weekend. And that was Nathan van der Linden, who is your ultimate versatile guy. I wouldn't be shocked if I saw him on the hill. I wouldn't be shocked if I saw him at the plate.
I would be shocked if we saw him on the hill, Nathan van der Linden.
Well, yeah, but he was listed on the team sheet.
was.
Maybe a mistake as a pitcher. That might have been a typo.
I think he'll be here as a pinch runner or an outfielder.
Okay.
Big swing and a miss. Yeah, Nate van der Linden, a great team guy, Phil. You're absolutely right. He has done everything he's asked. He's even slotted into a coaching role in this.
He was even fixing third base last Sunday.
But I think in the biggest game of the season, the Giants would be hesitant to use Nathan van der Linden in this game. With all due respect to Nathan van der
and I
Linden.
just wanted to be technically correct.
He is true. He is up their sleeve. Where you might
Way
have
up
seen
their
van der Linden, though, is if the Perth Heat blew out a game and they were up 11-1 in the 6th inning, game was going to be lost at that point, and you just use them to save arms.
Or maybe vice versa.
McKillican comes back with first pitch strike. 2 strikeouts, though, for McKillican to start his game.
He's on fire.
Now he's got to go against Pete Kozma, who has been excellent in the lead-up.
I don't think he's going to do a 22-out save, though.
No. How long does he go is a great question, though.
As long as you can get him to go. If he keeps throwing like this, there's no need to change unless you could feel that he's getting tired. So I guess what Chris Adamson and Tyler Mark will keep an eye on is how he's feeling.
Yeah, I think they'll be looking to see if we can get through that lineup. That's for sure. Get him to the 5th or 6th.
I think the next question is, when does Soppold come in? McKillican gets a strike, and the crowd erupts to that. 3 strikeouts for McKillican.
This season, regular season, 14 outings for McKillican, 18 innings. So going longer than 1 is not foreign, and we mentioned in the minors he's done it a fair bit. Going longer than 2, though, might be where he hasn't gone before.
Jake Bowie, 0 for 2 with 2 walks in game 1, 2 for 3 with 2 home runs in game 2, and then he had that, I think it was scored an infield hit on Liam Spence, but that ended up driving in a run. He is probably an MVP candidate as well, and if he goes deep here, big shift put on him though. Said before the game, Jake Bowie, that he's matured as a hitter. He used to let little things rattle him, and all year he's really focused on just letting things go and focusing on his great swing that he naturally has.
And that does certainly come with age. You know, you and I spoke about it before the broadcast about, you know, when guys get to that 24, 25 mark and they just mature more as a person, but also as a hitter. You start taking a little bit more into it. You stop worrying about just your game and you start thinking about what you can do for the ball club, and it does free up your mind space a lot. You know, I speak to a lot of guys that are talented between their 18 and 23 and just so much raw talent.
Swing and a miss, what a pitch from McKillican, and now he's got Bowie on 2 strikes.
Yeah, well, you know, Bowie's just going up there and he's free swinging. He's having a great time this year, and that's what he said to you in the you know, in your interview, that he is having a lot of fun. And you know, when you swing the bat that hard and make contact as hard as what he does, that's why he's having fun. So why change the approach, right?
2 strikes on Bowie, 2 strikeouts in the inning for McKillican. Make it 3. Adam McKillican comes into the game. He's got 4 outs so far. They've all been strikeouts.
That inning brought to you by the letter K.
McKillican gets 3 Ks.
That's it.
Well, that was impressive stuff from the Adelaide Giants closer moving in that role, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was outstanding. And the way that he worked his pitches, he worked his locations in and out, and kept the Perth batters off balance, and kept getting their timing out.
We head to the home half of the 4th inning, and in this series, the home half of the 4th inning has been the decisive inning. You go back to game 1 on Friday night. 2 outs, nobody on for the Perth Heat. They go bang, bang, bang. They end up scoring 4 runs in a blink of an eye. They win the game by 4 runs. Last night, it was a close ball game until the bottom of the 4th when the Adelaide Giants teed off on 4 solo shots in the getaway inning. That's been the decisive inning so far.
Yeah, it certainly has. You know, and both pitchers have gone into that 4th, and what you're seeing here now is a continuous, you know, from the Perth Heat management and keeping their pitching staff going into that 4th. And why not? You know, he's done a great job thus far and just giving up those 2 hard-hit balls, whereas the Adelaide Giants have chosen to make a change early.
He's gone through 3 innings of work, given up 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 in. That was the home run to McArdle. No walks, 3 strikeouts. 3 innings, just the 49 pitches, so that's pretty efficient, just over 16 an inning, 33 strikeouts. So arm-wise, he's got a bit to go if Perth are happy to let him continue to go. As we have a look at the bullpen for the Perth Heat, and there is movement at the station, but no one hurling just yet.
Yeah, I think this is exactly what, you know, I'm talking about, is that, you know, they're gonna see it. That's coming around that second time of the lineup, very dangerous part of the lineup that is hot for the Adelaide Giants. So, you know, I don't think there's going to be a long leash on him at all for this inning.
Well, he's going to get to the point in the lineup where he got hit hard. He's been perfect outside of the 4 and 5 hitter for the Giants. Lattimore double, McArdle home run. Other than that, there hasn't been a base runner off Brock Gilliam.
There you go.
A lot will hinge on this leadoff batter on Rickson Wingrove. He struck out his first time up. He's showing bunt, and he bunts it right to the ship, but he's charging towards first. It's a bang-bang play, and he's punched out.
He's probably just bunted that. I mean, I can see exactly what he was trying to do there, and it was a great move by Rickson, but he's just hit it that little bit too hard.
Heads up baseball, though. Yeah. These are the times where you've got to try things and you've got to make things happen. And you can see before, as we talk about playing the shift, and Owings sitting right back on the grass.
An exciting play, though.
Exciting play. And a heads-up play. That's an outstanding play by Owings.
One of the worst things about that is that pitch was right down what do you call Rundle Street.
King William Street.
That ball was right down the middle. Probably a pitch that Rickson was sitting there going, hey, I could have hit that. But
it's always the way, isn't it?
Oh, always the way.
Lattimore takes a pitch. These are the 2 batters coming up. First, Brock Gilliam, that did the damage. Scored those 2 runs after Perth went up 2-0. A double to Lattimore, a homer to McArdle. Lattimore now has hits in all 3 games in this championship series. He punches it over to third. Caminero charging on. What a play from Junior Caminero.
Wow, we talk about defense, we talk about the highlight reels, and that is an outstanding play. The way he moved across to that, he glided across. Look at that, comes down on it, steadies with his feet, and throws a bullet over to first base.
I'd love a radar gun on Junior Caminero when he releases that ball from his hand.
Have a look at the footwork right there. That is just brilliant. The way he got himself the ball underneath, his feet underneath him.
It's a great weapon to have when you know that you've got an arm like that, and you can, feel the ball as well as what he can, but, you've got time and you just sit there and leave it, let it roost.
McArdle up to bat. He had the home run, the 2-run shot that tied the game. He had 2 home runs last night and 2 RBIs in game number 1. He is South Australian and the leader of the team. And he is about as proud South Aussie as you can get. Every year, McArdle chooses a different South Australian artist to be his walkout song. He flies the South Australian flag more than anybody.
He certainly does. And in this day and age where it's all about imports and all about pro guys, this guy here, local guy playing baseball in the ABL, ex-pro, no doubt about it, but local guy here with his heart on his sleeve for his club and his state.
His best mate is Curtis Mead. More on that in a second. And right before Jordan McArdle's hot streak, Curtis Mead gave him one of his bats and said, "Jordy, use this." And Jordy has responded with one of the most prolific runs to a season in Australian Baseball League history. So his best mate's been with him this entire time.
Outstanding story.
McArdle swings and misses as Gilliam gets him to chase on a nice pitch, and he's got the captain on full.
Yeah, you haven't seen McArdle chase too many pitches. That ball just dropped out of the zone. A great pitch, and that's exactly what he wanted him to do, is just get him to chase something out of the zone.
Full count to McArdle. Fouls it away.
Just on Curtis Mead, is he here or has he gone back?
He's gone.
He's gone back to spring training, yep.
G'day to Curtis, who I'm sure is probably trying to watch this live if he can.
Jordan McArdle, full count. Already has 1 shot today. It's a walk. And that is the first walk of the day for Brock Gilliam, and probably a sign of Gilliam just being careful.
Yeah, 100%, Eric. He's got to throw around him. Jordan McArdle right now is super hot, and he's seeing the baseball like a watermelon, and he is ready to smash that ball. So you've got to work around the edges. With 2 out, put him on base.
They know that Mikey Martinez, hasn't been, swinging the bat as well as what he possibly can, and you can look at it both ways there, that you can bring him up there, so let's pitch Jordy fine and get him up in not a situation that's going to score runs.
Well, Martinez has had a lot of nice moments, but he's yet to have a big moment as a Giant, and this is the last game he could have one. You still feel like it's a matter of when, not if, for Martinez. Will the moment be today? It might be right now. Martinez knocks one to right field. McArdle gets the wave around 2. Martinez stands on first, and it's runners on first and third.
Well, there it is at that moment you were talking about, Eric. Martinez steps up to the plate and smashes that ball down right field line.
Well, Jared Carr coming up to bat. He had a home run last night. He's been in big moments all year. He's delivered. He's had a hit in each of the games so far this series. But one thing I don't want to say, I think just assessed Carr in big moments, he tends to swing through his shoes a lot.
Yeah, he does, and he's a young ball player with a lot of talent and quick bat, as you've mentioned throughout the year. And I just like to see him, take that approach, see some pitches. If that pitch is there, he's going to have a look. As we see Coach Pettit, long-time Perth pitching coach. And
well, the Giants and their fans here have nicknamed him Superman because of his highlight reel diving plays in center field. His highlight reel dives into second when he's stealing bases, and he's had a few clutch moments. He wears a Superman t-shirt now to the ballpark in the games.
Of course he does.
Jared Carr, someone that has embraced the South Australian community. which is what you love from the imports on both these teams. Pete Kozma, Josh Reddick are the headliners and players that have embraced the Western Australian way of life. Jared Carr is a country boy in a country town, and he's loving life in South Australia.
Yeah, you provide the right environment for the athletes and create the right culture, and they enjoy themselves, and they'll come back and deliver as this crowd has just turned up the notch all of a sudden.
Games are often decided by two-out hitting. It's a two-out moment for the Giants now. Jared Carr to right field, and Superman's delivered a superhero moment. He's flying around first. He'll stand on second, and Carr has put the Giants in front in Game 3.
Yeah, we see Carr get aggressive with that pitch. You know, we're talking about maybe taking a pitch, but he got one that he could handle and pulled it down the right field line for a double, hitting the ball extremely hard, which sees Martinez over to third and scoring Geordie McArdle. Great piece of hitting by the Adelaide Giants, Jared Carr.
And at that point in time, when the pitching coach comes out and he talks to a pitcher who's struggling, the thing he's going to be saying is, you got to get ahead of the count, mate. You got to get ahead. And Carr picking that up and seeing something he likes and driving.
He just took a bit off that too. It was a bit of an off-speed pitch that it might have been a bit of a change-up, and he's just gone down and got it. And great piece of hitting.
Liam Spence up to bat, 2 runners in scoring position now. Crucial that the Heat hold to just 1.
And we talk about a guy that, you know, hasn't had a huge amount of impact over the last couple of weeks. You know, just waiting for Spence to, you know, ignite something and do something for the Adelaide Giants. He's been great over at third base, but offensively, he probably hasn't been his best.
Pitch on the outside, and now he's worked himself into a hitter's count. This is another big moment here. You saw the Giants get a key hold with 2 runners in scoring position. McKillican got a strikeout, kept the Heat bats at bay. Pitching from the Heat, and Brock Gilliam has to come up big right here. 2-0 count to Liam Spence. Make it 3-0.
Yeah, this is pressure. This is finals pressure at its greatest right now.
Well, it's a vacant base at first.
Yeah, I know that there's
taken, I think we're going to see a change, surely.
Yeah, look, I know that there is a vacant base out there, so once again, yes, you can pitch him a little bit fine, but, you know, you've got the dangerous Jared Rogers who's been hitting the ball really well in the last couple of nights.
Will there be a 3-0 green light? No.
Yeah, I could have told you that before. No, there was never going to be that, but, you know, you always see that pitch come down and you go, oh, that was a nice one, but, you know, you've got to make that same pitch right here too.
Big moment. Gilliam versus Spence. Spence just under it a little bit, but having to charge on was the left fielder, but called off by Pete Kozma. He makes the play, but a 2-out hit from Jared Carr has put the Giants in front after 4. Things are starting to tense up at the ballpark. Giants in front. You're watching Game 3 on ondemand.baseball.com.au.
My trend for today definitely is adverse to, you know, the way we look at risk. Gallagher really showed me that I was probably not in the best position with the way I was around my broker and the information I was getting fed. I sleep a lot better now knowing that Gallagher's got my back.
Glorious night at the ballpark. Huge night at the ballpark. For one of these 2 teams, they're going to break a drought. Perth looking for their Sweet 16. In fact, there's 2 ties that could be unlocked tonight. The number of Claxton Shields won by a state. Victoria has the most. South Australia, WA, tied at 15. That's going to be broken by someone tonight. Then you've got the modern-day ABL, Perth and Brisbane, tied with 4 championships each. Perth going for their 5th. Of course, 10 won by a WA team prior to that. For those who are wondering what they're watching here, this is the championship of the Australian Baseball League.
And it's settled by a Good Life Fitness relay.
Yeah.
This is how they decide the Claxton Shield in Australia. If the teams are tied, they let kids do jumping jacks on the field. And that's how that's the tiebreaker in Australia if you're just joining us for the first time.
We might need a tiebreaker. I mean, this is the 10th game that they've played. The average winning margin when they have met is 6 runs. There was one close game, the very first one of the season. After that, the next closest, a couple at 4, one at 5, a lot at 7, one at 13. Usually these matchups, either way, have been blowouts. Tonight looks to be anything but.
Well, Adam McKillican back on the mound. He came into the game with 2 outs and 2 on in the 3rd inning, and he got a strikeout of Ulrich Bojarski. Then he went strikeout, strikeout, strikeout in the 4th inning of Hall, Cosma, and Bowie. He's still in the game.
He is, and what an outstanding job he's done so far, and let's see how he goes coming into this inning.
Will Simonite steps up to bat. He grounded out to Mikey Martinez to end the 2nd. McKillican versus Simonite. Here's the pitch. Bit down in the dirt, so it's a 1-1 count. Kennelly and Owings also due up. It will be the 3rd at-bat of the game for those players. So we're already into the 5th inning. Lineup about to move the 3rd time through. Gets a strike. And there's some frantic movement in the Heat bullpen. You'd think it's got to be softball time, right?
Yeah, well, now's the time. You know, you can't go die wondering, so they're going to be moving him in. And
on the outside, didn't go. McKillican 4 strikeouts and 4 outs. The lumbering Canadian from the West Coast. Started spring training with Texas, was released, and then signed 9 days later by the Rockies, and then was an organizational all-star. Knocked to left field. Here come the Heat rally. That drops in for a base hit. It's going to be an easy 2 for Simonite, and it's a leadoff double for the Perth Heat.
Well, how's that for your number 9 hitter that comes up when the game's on the line and says, okay, boys, here we go. I'll get this rally going. That brings you back to the top of the lineup.
Team down in the grand final. Runner in scoring position. Crucial response needed. Is there anybody else in the history of the Australian Baseball League that you'd rather come up to bat than Tim Kennelly?
yeah, well, these are the moments that Tim's been, you know, being Tim Kennelly. And, you know, he's going to try and move this runner across, do the little things.
The Heat were losing to the Melbourne Aces in their finals clinching game. And Tim Kennelly had a walk-off home run to not only end the Aces season, but to relieve a lot of pressure on the Heat, who were under siege from the Aces. It eliminated the Aces, put the Heat in the postseason. He's already provided a crucial moment in that respect. This would be even bigger than that. You can feel a moment coming.
Well, there's none out right now, and it's really important for Perth Heat to execute, manufacture, get them on, move them over, and score them to tie this ball game up.
A hush in the crowd. 1-1 count. Fouled back, Tim Kennelly. McKillican still getting batters up to 2 strikes.
It certainly is. And interesting, early in the game, the roar from the crowd, and now all of a sudden we get a runner on, and you hear the hush in the crowd.
Do the players feed off that energy?
Yeah, they do.
Fouled back, Kennelly just stays on it.
You can see the approach that Kennelly's taking right now, wanting to get some to the right side. McKillican not allowing him to get that ball, busting him inside there. So good battle we're seeing for TK and McKillican.
Kennelly lays off of it. 2-2 count. Absorbing stuff. We're now in the middle innings of the Shield decider.
This has more the feel of a playoff game. The first 2 had their moments of complete chaos.
On the outside, big block from Kieran. Well, the first 2 games were big leads early for one team, and the other team had to hunt them down. This one has been a tussle from the start. And you manage games differently in close moments because you know one swing of the bat can change the lead, can change the momentum, can change the moment. Tim Kennelly was behind. He's worked the count full. Will there be 2 base runners on? Will there be a lead, or will it be an out? Everything at play. Kennelly flares one foul.
Yeah, another good at bat by Kennelly. You know, we saw McKilligan come out and, you know, offer those 4 strikeouts when his first 4 batters faced, and something a little bit different with Semonite coming out and hitting that double, and a good 8-pitch, 9-pitch at bat here by TK. So, you know, just forcing him to throw a few more pitches in this inning.
Full count, runner in scoring position, the tying run in scoring position. Kennelly, a gritty at-bat, and it's 2 aboard for the Perth Heat.
What an at-bat. That is, again, talk about him, the GOAT, one of the greatest players of all time. What an at-bat right there. Way to hang tough.
Well, Connor Owens, is he considering small ball here, knowing you have Caminero and Reddick up behind him?
Yeah, look, whether he's considering it or the manager and Andy Kyle, you know, and that's why Tyler Mack's going to go out there and have a chat and just talk about what's possibly going to happen here.
You know, it's a perfect opportunity. Excuse me, it's a perfect opportunity for Perth to play some small ball and get their get those tying runs and lead runs over to third and second base.
I don't know, it's probably a regular thing, but I can tell you this afternoon at BP, everybody practiced it.
Well, what will Andy Kyle pull here? Connor Owens is the batter. He has a double already. You have a good lineup, or do you just let Owens, Caminero, and Reddick have a few swings at it and know that you can take the lead there? There's so much at play. The book says bunt, but when you've got a team of hitters, you don't want to take the bat out of their hands.
Good point, Eric, but also do you play to the situation, not to the player?
Giants expecting bunt. McKilligan, a ground ball pitcher. This will be a test on the fundamentals of defense. And also just the basic fundamentals of putting the ball in play.
Yeah, definitely. This is execution. This is the stuff, as Phil said, this is the stuff that you practice, that you work on. That makes baseball so exciting as a game when you come into a situation like this.
He's ahead 2-0.
Yeah, and also, you know, you've got to have the pitcher throwing strikes, and that's the key too. You know, he hasn't come around, he hasn't flinched, so they've got to be playing him straight up.
A little bit of a gap over at short. Fouls one away, and I don't think they're bunting.
No, not yet. Liam Spence, though, has got to be in this situation. If they bunt, it will probably be in his direction.
The Heat have been prone to a big inning all season long. This has the makings of one. Can they execute and bring them around? Owings, the batter. Owens swings through it. Bunt completely ruled out now.
Certainly has.
So they're letting them free swing.
There you back the bats of the Perth Heat.
It is the best offense in the league.
But you know, the thing is, out of that, you hit 300, you still get a fail 7 out of 10 times, right?
Edge of your seat stuff. And we're just at the midway point. Two-two to Owings. Crowd arcing up. Here's the hush. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 5 strikeouts for Adam McKilligan. That's a big one. But if there's a player in the Australian Baseball League that's fun to watch, that brings flair, that brings passion, and that brings clutch moments, it's Junior Caminero. And he's up to bat with the go-ahead run.
He certainly is one of those players that bring excitement to the game, but at the moment, the Adelaide Giants have got him on hold with 2 strikeouts, so they've worked him out right now. Let's see how the young fella goes here with a big challenge like this at hand. A big opportunity for him.
One swing of the bat gives Perth a multi-run lead. One swing of the bat gets the Giants out of the inning. First pitch strike from Adam McKillican.
We're at a crossroads where this game can go in multiple directions.
He's ahead 0-2.
Yeah, he's certainly got him in his head right now.
And you see the third base coach of the Perth Heat just telling Caminero just to settle down.
Well, it's interesting. I actually spoke to Andrew Kyle earlier today and his father Don and asked him about the third base coach, and he has come over as a minder for Junior. I'm not going to say minder. He's come over here. He's Spanish speaking, and yeah.
0-2 count, 2 on for Caminero. Runners going. This out towards left field. Lattimore will settle under it. And the runners need to get back to second. Lattimore with a play to second base. And it was right there. But sliding back in time was Will Simonite. That was close for comfort.
Here's going to be the question. Did he go through third base again on the tag out?
That's what the Giants are asking. Did he go through third? I don't know if the camera will show it, but what they're trying to watch, and they're not going to call it, I don't think.
Well,
but the Giants are going to go step on third right now. And
no, he went through third base. A good bit of base running there and coaching by the Perth Heat, because a lot of younger base runners don't understand that rule. They'll go straight through. So he's gone past the base here at third base. As you can see, he goes through again. See how he goes back and touches it. Great piece of base running there by Simonite.
And an awesome pickup by our Space Bay crew. We asked, and so often this season they've delivered.
That is a great shot by them to be right in the game.
Well, Perth had runners on first and second and no out. Now it's 2 outs. The Giants just had a 2-out hit just 3 outs ago in the bottom of the 4th to put the Giants up 3-2. Now, Josh Reddick, who's got 2 walks today, and he sent a ball flying over the right field wall, but it was foul. World Series winner trying to deliver a Claxton Shield for the Perth Heat. First pitch strike from McKillican.
But these kind of moments wouldn't be overawing Josh at all. You know, he'd be very, very comfortable with this situation.
Saw Reddick take out the sumo suit runner earlier in the game, having a bit of fun within the biggest game of the season. Runners going. Foul. 2 strikes.
Yeah, I can see what they're trying to do there. I'm not a massive fan for runners going with 2 out, especially with that left-hander up there and an arm like Kirion. I mean, they might be forcing the throw and see if there's an error made or something there. I mean, you can see he's very, very jumpy over there.
Couple early errors cashed in those first 2 runs for the Perth Heat. They were so good with 2 outs in game 1, the Perth Heat. They're going to need to be again. They can take the lead with a swing of the bat. 2 strikes on Reddick. Inside, and Kirion had to come across.
Yeah, you can just see McKillican just spike that ball a little bit. I think everyone was kind of expecting a ball up in the zone, just a waste one. Kirion may have been set up a little bit on the outside. Yeah, he's moved across on the outside there and just working that outside part of the plate, not trying to give him something to hit, and he just missed his spot.
We go again. Fouled away, and Reddick, just like he did versus Jack O'Loughlin, he fell behind 0-2. He ended up working a walk, and Reddick has just been taking pitches all game.
Yeah, well, one of the things you know with Reddick is that he knows how to work a count. He knows his pitches. He knows his zone.
Hasn't hit one in play yet. 2 walks, but getting on base.
to right field. Will it drop? It's hugging the line, and it stays foul. That's the second moment for Reddick that he's been hugging that foul line. The first looked like a home run. McKillican end up coming in and getting the next batter on the strikeout. This is the 9th batter McKillican has faced, by the way. And that has been 2 oh-so-close moments for Reddick. He is knocking on the door.
Yeah, he's staying in the moment and trying to make something happen for this Perth Heat lineup.
McKillican's pitch count up to about 45.
Yeah, I think this will be it for him.
This will be the last batter either way.
No, I don't know. I think they might let him go to the right-handed. Just depends on what happens with this pitch. This batter.
Full count. 2-2, sorry. 2-2 count. But this is the 6th pitch of the at-bat. Feels full. There's been so many pitches. Josh Reddick, world-class at-bats. 2 runners on, 2 out. Number 22 at the plate. Now it's full.
Yeah, this is an interesting situation now. You're going to see the runners on moving, so he's got to make a pitch. And Reddick knows it. Big deep breath by number 22.
And everybody watching.
The silence you're about to hear will be deafening. Runners go. Reddick under it. It's to shallow right field. Ward stumbles. McArdle calls him off. The Giants let 2 base runners on with no outs. Adam McKillican gets out of the jam and preserves the 1-run lead.
That is one outstanding pitching performance by Adam McKillican. Giving up a walk and a base hit early in the inning and coming through clutch.
And you could see Josh Reddick was not happy with that. He just missed that, just missed it. That ball went up, but great pitching right there, great defense, and the opportunity right there to execute not happening, getting 2 on with none out, and 1, 2, 3 out in the lineup. And there's the diamond dash.
Yeah, great to see good numbers still coming, of course.
And there goes Billy Sutton. Look at him.
I was about to say, Reddick's not going to go and tackle anyone here, is he?
Not Billy Sutton, easy auto, 1, 2, 3, bolting across the line. The old Superman he was. He used to be the Superman.
It was a wonderful initiative by the home team here, the Adelaide Giants, to say, if there was a Game 3 and you're a junior playing baseball in Adelaide, turn up in your local club uniform tonight and you get in for free for a game that's a grand final, a championship match, and a winner take all. And as you can see there by the kids, they've turned up, which is great to see.
Yeah, look, that was quality. I want to bring you something else up that I've just seen. You know, a guy that's just had a 7 or 8 pitch at bat, didn't deliver, and there was some older people coming through that right field there, and they stopped and asked Josh if they could take a photo with him, and they did, and he allowed it, and he stood there and he took a photo with him.
That's
you know,
gold.
what a human being.
Yeah. And you could see how upset he was from missing that.
Yeah.
And from going so upset to missing it, to then going, yeah, okay, smile and wave.
Yeah. He knows how important this game is to Australia, and you know, and the growth of it as well. And you know, he's just a quality guy and accessible to anybody. You know, he's sitting out there now, and he's pretty, you know, he's dwelling on that at bat and be pretty upset with himself. But for him to allow that to happen,
that is awesome.
Yeah,
and I can't think of a single sport where that would happen otherwise.
And talking to parents through the club, junior parents, they love the fact that they can get out and amongst the players like that. It's just outstanding.
I mean, I haven't studied minor league baseball and levels and how it's overseas, but the accessibility and the interaction in the Australian Baseball League is just phenomenal.
Jared Rogers leads things off. Brock Gilliam still on the mound. It's been an intriguing contest. It's been an arm wrestle from the first at-bat as we've reached the midway point. Batters taking pitches deep into counts. We've seen 1, 2, 3 innings. Rogers over to short. Cosma on the backhand, stops across the diamond. Nice play.
that's a big league play right there. Backhand, didn't get overawed with it.
That is unbelievable. The way that he just moved across to it, stayed low, come across and threw a rocket.
He knew exactly what he had to do there, you know. He reminds me so much, and you'll remember this guy I'm about to mention now, but how much does he remind you of Pat Kelly?
Yeah, that's right.
You know, PK, when he came out here in the late 90s, you know, to live and play for the Adelaide Giants, just the way that he went about his business defensively, and watching Cosma, it's just a pleasure to watch.
Yeah, what I liked is the way that he stayed low on that backhand, kept his eye on it, moved his feet nicely, and then came up with a really good throw.
Well, we're getting a pitching change in the game. We're at the midway point. Let's reset for anyone that may have just joined us. And it was an arm wrestle from the start. So close. Starting pitchers Jack O'Loughlin versus Brock Gilliam. And the Heat struck first. They didn't get a ball out of the infield, but an error, an infield hit, and a walk cashed in 2 runs in the bottom of the second. Gilliam was rolling along. In the first 3 innings, he was perfect, except for 2 batters, a double to Lattimore, and then a chilling moment when Jordan McArdle homered to center field to tie the game up at 2. Both teams have had opportunities, including the Heat, who in the third had runners on first and second and 2 out. They brought in the closer, the Giants did, Adam McKillican, who struck out Boyarsky, struck out the side in the 4th, put runners on first and second in the 5th, and then went 1-2-3 to get the Heat out of the jam. It allowed Jared Carr in the 4th inning to have a 2-out base knock, a 2-out rally that was started by a McArdle walk to put the Giants up 3-2. The Giants have already used their high leverage guy. Now the Heat are going to their high leverage guy here in the 5th inning with Jordan Martinson.
What a great recap there on this ball game. It's exciting coming into the middle of the 5th. We see that pitching change, that matchup coming in here with lefty v lefty.
So it's Jordan Martinson making his 2nd appearance, the first Heat pitcher to do so this championship series. Pitched just the 1 innings, threw 13 pitches Friday night. 9 of those 13 were for strikes. He gave up no hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts, a ground out and a fly. He faced the minimum 3 batters. He threw the 8th. And if you go back to Friday night, it was a huge 8. Adelaide were gaining momentum, and Martinson shut them down, and before they knew it, the Giants only had 3 outs to make up the deficit. It was too late.
There's no doubt the move was made because it would have been the 3rd time through that Gilliam would have faced these Giants batters. This was planned completely. He was going out to face one. So Nick Ward 0 for 2 today, going against Jordan Martinson, who's been a great independent ball recruit. The left-handed pitcher, Kansas City boy, down in the dirt.
The line on Gilliam, 4 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, threw 70 pitches, 46 for strikes. He's left with Perth in the game, and I guess kept the relievers fresh to get him home.
Yeah, I'm just going to take you back to that last half inning with the Perth Heat there. You know, I'm a massive fan of Andy Kyle and the way that he manages and the baseball guy, and just questioning whether or not he may be doing it the same thing, whether they should have gone to that small ball.
Yep, I agree with you, Craig. I think that's where it comes down to the execution.
Ward punches one to the outfield. It drops for a base hit.
Yeah, so I just look back at that there, and you can't go back and change any situation that's already happened, obviously, but I'm just wondering whether that's a crucial moment in this game where it could have been something different, especially with a couple of guys that can hit long fly balls, and they both did.
But the thing is, as we talk about, 3 times you hit 3 out of 10, you're a good hitter, right? You're going to fail 7 out of 10. Do you play to the hitter or do you play to the situation? At that point, they played to the hitter, but the situation got the better of them.
Yeah, look, and it's a big call, and we've made it. We've made it all year where we've seen Coach Adamson not go with the small ball, and it's paid off.
Yeah, that's right.
we did it early in the season, and I was a little bit critical of that particular moment, and everyone has their own opinion on how to play it, and as it turned out,
Kirion up to bat, and sometimes you just got to let hitters hit. And it wasn't necessarily the wrong decision.
No,
Josh Reddick sent a ball down the right field line that was foul by a foot.
Right.
Yeah.
1 foot to the left, the Heat are in the lead.
Yep. Oh, yeah. That's right, and that's the great thing about this game is there's so many scenarios, so many situations, and you can talk about them, and then after they roll, you replay in hindsight.
Kirion just under it a bit, but it could be a tricky one. Tim Kennelly has to move way over to his left. He makes the play, 2 down.
Just want to mention Ward. He's had 8 hits this playoff series, 3 against Auckland, 5 in the championship series. That makes it 62 hits in 46 games.
Rickson Wingrove up to bat, 0 for 2 on the day. He does have hits in each of these prior games of the championship series.
A left-handed power hitter that doesn't mind facing lefties.
How aggressive is Ward going to be here?
Oh, look, you know, it's, the run means a lot, but, you know, he's not in scoring position, and, you know, lefty v lefty, you could probably get a little bit of a bigger lead there, but...
He's got a bit of protection there with Wingrove.
And we haven't seen Ward steal that much this year. Whilst he's a good lead-off, he hasn't, you know, shown those wheels whilst he's been on base.
Is this a spot to do it, knowing you can move into scoring position and, worst case, get tagged out with a power bat in the lineup?
Yeah, it could happen.
We'll keep our eyes on Ward as Martinson gets ready to deliver. Over to Ward's first, goes foul.
Yeah, you certainly might see something now with 2 strikes. More of a run and hit, and certainly with no strikes, or if Rickson was in front in the count, you wouldn't see it, but you may see something now, just see him running and wait till he goes to the plate. I don't think he'll be going first move.
Ward inches forward. Martinson gets ready to deliver. Swing and a miss, a big strikeout from Martinson. Eliminates the threat. We've played 5. It's a 1-run ball game. It's an entertaining contest. It's Game 3 of the Australian Baseball League Championship Series. Eric Bolnar, Phil Hurd, and Craig Watts. Scott Pratt with you after this.
My transport today definitely is adverse to the way we look at risk. Gallagher really showed me that I was probably not in the best position with the way I was around my broker and the information I was getting fed. I sleep a lot better now knowing that Gallagher's got my back.
You like him too.
Welcome back. As we're sorting out the... someone came up and gave us a box of chocolates, which was lovely. Craig Watts has now commandeered it.
Someone's actually stole my Turkish
I did.
delights.
Another one who likes them. We wondered who that was.
There's one in there.
Okay.
I've got
I'll
it.
let you have that.
Yeah,
Well,
we can have a
Craig's
bit of fun
happy.
up here. I've got my one. Oh, I better
right.
grab that before Scotty Pratt gets it.
Lightening the mood before we come
Absolutely.
back. Alex
Take that
Hall
cherry, right.
is going to lead us off.
But a pitching change for the Adelaide Giants. Austin Ross is in the game.
Yeah, Ross pitched on Friday, so he's the first. Like Martinson was, Ross is the first one. Now the difference is Ross pitched yesterday, but not a lot, and so he's been called to pitch twice in 2 days, and that's what you do when there's championship baseball and a title to be won tonight.
And if you think the commentary booth is all about sitting up here and enjoying
Yeah.
the thrills of life, you're right. It
Hey guys,
absolutely
hey,
is.
Yeah.
where's mine?
Phil, we'll give you one over here. Here's
There we
some
go. I've got
chocolates for
cherry
you.
ripe here. None, cherry ripe. I've got my
Look,
Turkish delight.
If Josh Reddick can tackle sumo suits and take selfies during a game of the championship, are we allowed to eat a chocolate?
Absolutely,
We've got
we
roses
are.
as well from one of the spectators here.
Dig in,
last
fellas.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thanks for tuning in wherever you're watching around the world.
Get well looked after up here.
Some late gifts for all of us.
Back to the ball game.
Oh, there's a game on, is there?
Is it a big game?
It is a big game, Eric.
Oh, okay.
And there's a crowd to match, which is
Oh,
great
how
to see.
big is it?
Yeah, 2,100 here is what the number is.
Wow.
So
I bet
across the
there's never been
ABLCS,
2,000 before in this ballpark.
yeah, there's the top 2 crowds at this ballpark have been set the last 2 nights.
What was last night?
2540.
Wow.
So that means that there have been over 8,500 fans across the championship series between Perth and Adelaide.
Wow, that's impressive. And, throughout the year, there's always been that conversation of, oh, we're not getting big crowds in. And it's hard because it's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But the playoffs have really proven that baseball is alive in the ABL.
Boyarski steps in, and Freddie, you're absolutely right, as Boyarski will take the first pitch. A bit of an awkward one, too, because this league didn't exist for a year.
That's right.
And the year before that, teams only played each other, maybe one or two other teams in hub situation. There hasn't really been a proper ABL in 2 years.
For the Perth Heat, they didn't play a home game for 2 years, as in
Swing
home in WA.
So it takes a while for fans to get back in that mode. You get used to watching club ball. You get used to getting entrenched in there. And when you see players like Reddick and Cosma in this league, it's a bit of a difference than playing at your suburban ground. Ulrich Bojarski settles in. Austin Ross, a former Philadelphia Phillies prospect. He came over in that hub season with the Adelaide Giants and didn't allow a run in his 11 appearances in his first stint in the ABL. He was released by the Phillies, but he's come back as someone that absolutely loved South Australia. Sort of a retirement trip for Austin Ross, who says if he gets signed and picked up again, of course he'd pitch, but he has no plans at the moment. He's already had started work after he had got released, and he had to ask to get out of work to come out to Adelaide, South Australia.
What's his occupation?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Just slipped out of his hands, brings the count full.
I mean, I'm just staggered. His ERA for the regular season from 13 innings, 9 outings and relief work, under .7. He's been stellar in the playoffs. I just can't believe someone watching here can't find a spot for him.
Well, you mentioned that he pitched on Friday night. He actually pitched last night.
No, last night he did. That's what I said.
Yeah.
2 days in a row.
Flared up in the air, off towards right field. McArdle fighting the sun and in foul territory. Has to make the play, one down.
That is a great catch by Geordie McArdle. He's played some great defense. Obviously, he had that one little hiccup last week, but you see him come up with the catch there. So we bring up Alex Hall, and we were talking about him that last at bat about being a switch hitter. And we got some stats.
I gave it at his last at-bat because you weren't here.
Oh, there we go.
You can repeat it.
There we go. So versus lefties, he's batting .262. So from the right side, from the left side, which he's currently going at, he's batting .402 for the regular season. So huge difference there. 140 points. So he feels a lot more comfortable from the left side. Well, he's hitting better from the left side.
Alex Hall scored in the second inning, reached on an error. Was one of McKillican's 3 strikeout victims in the 4th inning, and an inning that he struck out the side, and he swings through the first pitch here. Hall to left field, that goes foul too, into a mass crowd of people over at another bar area that the Giants had to build just to get this game in. A lot of kids wandering around the ballpark too. People all over the ballpark. 0-2 count. Crowd was looking for it, but it was a bit outside.
Yeah, and at this point in time, the shadows that are coming across the ground, it's starting to become difficult. So carry on, have a little trouble catching that ball. You can see them on the screen right now. So we're in between daylight and night.
Nothing like the old Norwood days, though.
Nowhere near.
They were horrible.
Talk about a hush. You just, the crowd can
gone
anticipate
quiet, yeah.
something brewing.
You know, as a
Temperatures
hitter,
drop too.
sorry.
Temperatures drop too.
Yeah, it certainly has. As a hitter with these shadows, it becomes very, very difficult. And there's 3 or 4 different shadows out there at the moment. Seeing that ball cross over, got to make an adjustment.
1-2 pitch. Great at bat from Alex Hall now.
Oh yeah, he's working the count beautifully, and as Ross keeps delivering his pitches, that's exactly what there's been a trend with the Perth Heat. Is that a new pitcher comes on, they have a look at what pitches, and they just foul and foul and foul and assess what they can see from this pitcher and work out what they're going to do.
I think now with technology, though, you know, that a lot of these hitters and managers of the ball club,
Moonshot, but foul.
Wow.
they study. you know, the hitters study the pitchers study the hitters. You know, whereas, you know,
That's right.
10, 12 years ago, this wasn't available.
Austin Ross, by the way, on that fastball just hit 93 miles per hour. That's the fastest pitch of the year for him. I don't know if that's
Wow.
adrenaline. Does that happen with the pitcher?
This is what everyone wants to play for, is in front of a big crowd, championship game, you lift.
Outside, it was a pitch he liked, but Hall didn't bite.
What was the exit velo on Hogg's foul ball? Oh, man, that ball went out of here.
103
quickly.
miles per hour.
Thank you.
Connor Ladwig providing all those stats on the TrackMan data.
That's a great job, Connor.
Swing and a miss. Big time pitch.
Wow, that is an outstanding pitch. Alex Paul worked the count beautifully, but Ross coming in with the breaking ball to strike him out. And an outstanding pitch.
Just to give you the lines on our two Giants pitches, O'Loughlin went 2 2/3, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Adam McKillican, normally the closer, came in and pitched 2 1/3 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. He threw 45 pitches, 31 were strikes.
Cosma takes the first pitch. He's 0 for 2 on the day, but he does have an RBI.
What we're seeing from Ross early is he's working the zone, pounding the zone quite nicely.
Didn't go.
He didn't go, but something we just saw then was a beautiful two-seam that just ran in.
Oh, and we've got some issues on the hill.
Sprinklers have gone off on the hill. Oh no. That has sent people scattering in center field. Grounded over towards Martinez. He takes back on the hop. Quick play across the diamond. He makes the play. And that will end the Perth attack. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Austin Ross.
Tough play there. He just had to wait for that hop. He could have come in, chose either way, held back.
Meanwhile,
great play.
Meanwhile, on the hill, I think it's the sprinklers maybe from the golf course that have gone off.
It's a southerly breeze coming in, so the golf course is bringing the spray onto the hill.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I'm just glad the sprinklers are not on the field.
Well, now time for my favorite part of the night. It's the Dizzy Bat race, and it's a grand final Dizzy Bat race.
Ooh,
we've got the Salmon Man, checkered shorts, and white shorts going at each other. Salmon Man gets off to a good spin. Man, checkered shorts is going wide. I don't know if this is going to pay off. White shorts, very calculated. He's concentrated very hard. But on the left side, Salmon Man taking the head a little bit off the bat as he's about to try to dash down the line. It's a very close one. Salmon Man is starting to get crippled, holding the hamstring. Salmon Man is down. Salmon Man is down. Salmon Man back up. White shorts is down. It's chaos. Salmon Man a bounce back as checkered shorts goes down. A comeback for the ages. Salmon Man was down for the count, and he takes it out on Championship Sunday.
How good was Salmon Man to keep his feet when all fell around him?
There was a moment I thought it was lost. You talk about resilience on Championship Sunday. Salmon Man just came through in the clutch. I don't know if we're going to get a replay on it, but he had stumbled. Look at this. Now here's the moment. Salmon Man, look at this. His arm limp. He starts to buckle here, and he goes down hard. But the composure to get up, the burst right here. It's going to be remembered for a long time.
Oh,
he almost went down again, but whoa, is that controversy? Was that interference?
He threw checkered shorts off balance.
Wow. Look, when you got to get the elbows out when you're fighting for a championship.
Look, you got to do everything you can to get the win, and obviously Salmon Man did.
Oh, you guys amaze me. Quincy Lattimore.
You be the serious one, Craig. Bring us back.
And that doesn't happen very often.
4, 5, 6, Lattimore, McArdle, Martinez. This has been the scoring third of the Giants lineup.
Lattimore, left field, to the wall, to the hill, to the glove of Ulrich Bojarski.
Yeah, we see that wind now just taking effect there. That ball was absolutely scorched by Quincy. Earlier in the game, that ball there is 5 rows deep. You can see that wind's just coming in a little bit harder now. And He got a piece of it, and Yowski just stayed with it.
Now Jordan McArdle has had an incredible last 2 days. The captain yesterday delivered 2 home runs, including a 3-run shot in the first.
He waited to the second this time.
He waited to the second, and it was still his first at-bat. Tied the game up at 2. The Giants were down 2-0, and McArdle sent one to center field. He then walked with 2 outs and later was moved around to score the current go-ahead run. McArdle steps in for his 3rd at-bat, and it'll be interesting to see how Martinson approaches this one. He's not a guy that shies away from much either, Jordan Martinson.
No, he's not. This is going to be a battle for the ages. Lefty v lefty.
One-two count to McArdle.
This is where Geordie's got to settle down, look for a pitch to drive. Don't expect anything too close on this count.
Swing and a miss. Martinson gets the dangerous McArdle swinging on strikes.
Yeah.
And it's a big first 2 outs.
Outstanding pitching there by Martinson, just to get that ball down, not giving McArdle anything to hit. And as they say, threw the bait out and he went fishing.
Michael Martinez had a base hit with 2 outs. That kept the train moving and allowed Jared Carr to drive him home.
And that was a big hit for Martinez, his first of the championship series.
Pitch down low. Both teams have already used their high leverage guys. Although Connor Higgins, the normal closer, he could be used in a big situation. Warwick Saupold we haven't seen yet, a big leaguer. So the Perth Heat, as much as people have criticized the bullpen, they have some very dangerous arms to come.
Experienced dangerous arms too, Eric.
Of the 2 that they listed, of the team that they listed, the 2 they haven't used, Warwick Saupold and Yuichi Shioda. Now, Yuichi Shioda is an import local club guy who ended up filling a hole.
Yeah, and an incredible story. I hope he gets in the game as Martinez over to 3rd. Wow, what a cutoff from Caminero in the dirt. What a pick from Jake Bowie. And it's a 1-2-3 inning.
Outstanding pick by Bowie. Just stayed right on it and threw the ball. That's a big pick right there.
We played 6. We go to the final 3. It's tense. It's fun. It's the Australian Baseball League Championship Series. We'll be back.
My trend for today definitely is adverse to the way we look at risk. Gallagher really showed me that I was probably not in the best position with the way I was around my broker and the information I was getting fed. I sleep a lot better now knowing that Gallagher's got my back.
It's rug up time in the commentary spot as the temperature drops a few degrees with the sun heading out west. Still be dinner time in the west. G'day to all the Perth Heat fans who are just like the crowd here on their edge of their seats. A 1-run ball game like they did in the first game that was decided late by 1 run. Since then, all the encounters have been by big margins. But you just get this feeling this one is going to be decided very, very late. Austin Ross works into another inning. And he's going to face a beautiful mulleted duo coming up for the Perth Heat. I think I made a comment about their mullets before. Jack Bowie and William Simonite.
Yeah, we saw Bowie make that play before, that beautiful pick up at first base. Never underestimate the value of a good first baseman right there, showing the way at that point in time. Now let's see Bowie up to bat.
Bowie, Simonite, and then Tim Kennelly. Don't see any movement in the Giants bullpen, although it looks like Van Steensel's walking down there right now. Both teams just emptying their tank and throwing their best when they can. Lots of baseball hats around the grounds today. It was free for junior baseballers to come to Game 3 of the championship series. Great to see a great contingent of Perth Heat supporters sitting right behind that dugout. I love to see that too.
One flew all the way from Dallas, Texas to be here.
Wow.
And his plane got diverted to Auckland. He spent 21 hours on a plane straight without getting off. And then he had a 4-hour flight to Perth from Melbourne. So dedication by the Heat fans to come from all over the world to be here this weekend.
Jake Bowie already with an RBI in this game. 2 home runs last night. One of the breakout Australian players of the year. And he takes a big breath because Heat batters now know that it's getting to the stage of the game where you just don't know if this is your last at-bat. You have to leave it all out there and bring your best approach to the table. And it's a big swing and strike from Bowie on Ross.
Yeah, it's a tight game, you know, when you're 3-2 and you're coming into the 7th and there's a lot can happen and you still want to keep your approach, but you want to try and make something happen.
Shift on.
Big hole right up the middle. And a late time called by Bowie.
Yeah, the swing before from Bowie, looking for something to lift, and great pitch by Ross. The breaking ball, 0-0 breaking ball.
Gets a strike. 2 on Bowie.
Yeah, you're going to see him pound that outside part of the zone there, not allow him to pitch anything or get around on anything.
Swing and a miss. Austin Ross gets his second of the day. Bowie down on strikes.
Yeah, interesting sequence of pitches there, starting off with the breaking ball, sliding in with that fastball on the outside edge, and then getting him again on that breaking ball. So great pitching there by Ross.
William Simonite, another late comer, 26-year-old from Illinois in the athletics system. An Ivy Leaguer, 3-time honours there. He did some graduate work at Wake Forest, a master's degree in management, which what's he as a catcher? All catchers have some sort of a degree in management.
Well, Simonite started that 5th inning with the lead-off double, and then Kennelly had the walk, and it was runners on first and second, no out, and it was looking like a sure run for the Heat.
He's a dangerous hitter, you know. He's had some great at-bats this weekend, and the last weekend he provided some power for the Heat, so you cannot take a light approach on someone like Simonite. They'll be conscious of it. We spoke about that last week against Auckland, that
Mitch Neuenborn.
Oh, that's great.
Getting worked out from Todd Van Steensel.
Well, that's the move that you think has to be made.
Ross filling up the strike zone like he's done his entire ABL career. This is his 2nd stint in the league. Great article about him in his hometown paper. Outlines his desire to come back to Australia. Called it the most fun baseball he's ever played. With sentiments echoed by both teams. Jake Bowie said that in the pregame interview. This is the most fun he's ever had as a group. The Perth Heat, just an exceptionally close group of players. A brotherhood on both teams. Simonite to left field. It's high in the air. It'll be held up. Lattimore, casual as you like, makes the play. 2 out. Ever since it was runners on first and second with no out, it's been 8 in a row. But Perth bats can turn on a dime, and usually the guy that gets it started is Tim Kennelly.
Yeah, he certainly does, and you know, it scares me a little bit that he's had a quiet kind of couple of nights. Well, it's good for the Perth Heat that he can come through and maybe get a base hit here and just start something up.
Back to the top of the lineup. 4th at-bats now for the Perth Heat. Chris Adamson has done a good job of hiding his pitchers. They haven't really faced many twice.
Ian Ross starting again with that breaking ball, mixing his pitches up nicely.
Foul straight back. 0-2 count.
So what he does is he gets that breaking ball and he slips that fastball in, and getting TK caught on that one, just not seeing it come on into him a bit quicker than what he thought. And now as we see where he gets into this count, it's where Ross has been throwing that breaking ball and getting hitters to swing and chase it.
Wow.
Ross.
Tim Kennelly's Claxton Shield debut was 2006 for what was the Western Australia Healers, a state side at the time. And what's he? You know all about that.
Yeah, the Healers were team that was kind of generated before when the ABL closed in 2001 and the new league kind of came on and they played a bit of Claxton Shield and they had to change their name and play for the Western Healers.
Oh.
Have a look at the way Quirion's working back there. Like,
I was looking at the same thing, Freddie.
Really taking control in this situation.
You can see his eyes moving, checking out where the batters are at. And, you know, for those young catchers at home, you see the movement and what he's trying to achieve and work with his pitcher.
Kennelly, you felt like that sort of lit a fire in him a little bit. He's locked in. He's behind 0-2. He's fouled a few away. He's working his way through.
Not sure he is the player you want to fire up.
Knocked over towards third. Spence tries to trap it, blocks it, throws it across the diamond. He's safe. Great hustle from Tim Kennelly, and the tying run is aboard.
Yeah, tough play there by Spence. Just came in, stood back a little bit. You can see he came out and backhand that ball there. Unlucky not to get that on the hop. Stayed with it as much as he could. It's a really tough play.
Yeah, tough play. A couple of points on that. Potentially one step to the other side of the ball to get on the forehand to get rid of that. Obviously, you wanted to come in and get rid of it quickly. But the telling factor is Tim Kennelly bolting up the line. The way that he ran up the line, Charlie hustled to get up there to put the pressure on Liam Spence.
Yeah.
Right
TK,
when the game's on the line.
TK doing TK things.
Yeah.
Middle of the lineup looming. Can Connor Owings keep this inning alive and get Junior Caminero to the plate? There's runners on first and second, no out. Kennelly and Simonite and Owings, Caminero, and Reddick all had cracks. They all couldn't quite get it. This is their second opportunity now with a base runner. In the dirt, Kennelly gonna scamper to second, tying run in scoring position. Nervy times at the ballpark for the Adelaide Giants and their 2,000+ crowd for the second straight night. Ross, likely his last inning of work. Can he get through it unscathed? Well, that hush back.
Here it is. Edge of your seat baseball.
Game 1, Perth was 6 from 17 runners in scoring position. Game 2, 0 from 4.
Tying run at second. Go ahead run at the plate.
Hey, Rossi, go!
Check swing.
Well, this is the adjustment Perth Heat have to take and make right now. They know that Ross goes throwing that breaking ball, and you've got to lay off of that pitch. He comes in with that sneaky fastball.
And tonight, Perth are 0 for 7. So that's 0 for 11 here in Adelaide, this championship series.
Swing and a miss. Full count. It's gonna get a jump from Tim Kennelly over at second. A base hit is gonna tie this ball game. Biggest pitch of the game so far. Ross versus Owings, the mid-season import for the Perth Heat. It's a walk. And the go-ahead run is aboard. You talk about 2 out hitting. Junior Caminero gonna have a crack here to put the Heat in front.
Yeah, well, this is interesting to see how we go here with Ross. He has worked his pitches nicely all day long, and in his time on the mound. That ball was good on height, but bad on location, just coming in a little bit too much.
Big moment for a future big leaguer. The 19-year-old Junior Caminero has been a one-man thrill factory all season long. This would be the pinnacle, no doubt. Ross starts it with a first pitch strike.
Yeah, it's a good pitch, just on the outside part of the plate. Just keeping him off balance.
Big block from Kirio.
Good piece of hitting there by Caminero.
Yep.
Just to lay off that.
Everything about this man just oozes flair.
Certainly does.
He's looking for a swaggy moment. 1-1 count. This kind of moment where championships are won and lost.
So just on that, you can see there Quirion just calling for the inside pitch. There's a plan here. Just go inside, go soft away, hard inside, soft away. Make him, throw him something for him to go out for. Can Caminero stay off it?
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 runners on, and Caminero is unhappy with the call. He's got to settle his nerves right here.
Well, as talked about with Jake Bowie, he got the understanding that you've got to concentrate on the job at hand, not let that worry you.
Here we go. Jammed in the air. Spence calls everybody off.
Just a little
Side
unsure.
retired.
Just a little unsure under that ball there with that grey sky.
Well, the Giants are going to go to the 7th inning stretch, and in a world full of uncertainties, one thing is for certain: the Giants are heading to the 8th inning with a lead. A 43-year drought is agonizingly close, but the hardest work is yet to come.
Yeah, as it gets tight and late in the game, it gets tighter in the game, and you miss opportunities.
And we'll take it away with Hiccups Hall and Toby with the take me up to the ballgame. Well, there's been nothing between these two teams from the moment the umpire said play ball. The Heat struck first, 2 runs in the bottom of the second. Jordan McArdle tied it in the Giants' part of the second inning, a 2-run shot that sent West Beach into a frenzy. Jared Carr, who will bat this inning, has right now the go-ahead run. That happened all the way back in the 4th inning. It was a 2-out rally started by McArdle, and the bullpens have bent both teams, but they have not broke, and this has just been entertaining beyond belief.
Well, we knew it was going to be a tight game right from the start, and this is exactly what we're getting. As we come down to the wire, the back end of the game, she's going to be tight. The pressure's going to be high, and everyone's going to be looking to be that person. Might not be your day, but it can be your moment right here.
Yeah. You're exactly right, Scotty. Yeah, it's a big time of the ball game for both ball clubs. You know, Adelaide Giants want to try and tap on a couple of runs here, and Perth Heat are going to stop them and have another opportunity to score.
Jordan Martinson still on the mound. Working now into his 3rd inning. He's been their high leverage guy. Jared Carr leading things off, the Phillies prospect. Say if 7-8, when 7-8-9 get it done, that's how games are won. Neither team 7-8-9 has got it started, although Carr had that decisive hit.
That's right.
One count. Giants just feel like, from the Giants' perspective, they need another insurance run. Defending a 1-run lead for 5 innings in a championship game.
Yeah, they definitely do, Eric, as Perth Heat are at the 4th, batter 4, Reddick in their lineup, so you really want to get a run here.
Carr taking. 2-2 count. Carr nubbed over towards short, scooped up by Cosma. What a quick release and what a stretch from Jake Bowie at first.
Yeah, another great play by Cosma. He knew the car's got wheels. It's just a quick release, unlike the play that he made before. And we see Andy Kyle make his way out.
Higgins or Soppel?
I'm going to go Soppy.
What a great performance, though, from Jordan Martinson, who works 2 1/3 innings, or 2 2/3 innings, and he allows just the one hit, helped them get out of a jam when they needed it the most. He did everything he asked. He gave Perth a chance to stay in this ball game. A tremendous performance from Jordan Martinson.
No walks, 2 strikeouts, went about 36 pitches, and kept the heat in the contest.
And it is Warwick Soppel, one of Australia's big leaguers. Spent time with the Detroit Tigers a couple seasons there. He's Australia's ace, you would probably say. Him and Atho will share that duty at the World Baseball Classic.
Yes.
A couple years in Korea. Warwick Soppel has won Claxton Shields here. He's pitched at the highest level, and he has to keep the heat in with a shot in this game.
Yeah, he's been absolutely lights out for the last 10 years. You know, I remember him coming up in the late 2000s and seeing what he's been able to do on the international stage for Australia and in the major leagues has been outstanding. You know, he's been touched up a couple of times, but you know, just an ultimate professional in the way that he goes about his business.
One of the times he got touched up was here versus the Adelaide Giants, and it was Nick Ward that had a lead-off, a game-starting home run versus Soppel that set the tone in a Saturday night win at home. That was the only time the Giants beat the Heat in this building before this weekend.
Yeah, gave up 3 earned runs in about 4 innings. But this is a big game, and Soppel is a big game player in some of the biggest baseball leagues, Detroit in the MLB, Penrith Eagles and the KBO. Heat need a holder right now.
What's interesting is they just keep bringing quality players through their lineup, through their squad, through their team. Like as a junior player coming through the Perth Heat, there's some royalty in there that could help you through your career, early days.
And they do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Perth Heat players that are still around. You know, the Luke Hugheses and Jason Hewitts and all those guys, they're still around the game, and they're providing so much leadership, and we do it well here too, you know, like yourself at club level, and there's a lot of guys that are out there and providing great experience.
And you too. Stuart Sanders and the Seahawks.
William Spence settles in. Pitch on the outside. Two-0 count, so something possible for Liam Spence here. 2-2 count, sorry.
1-1.
1-1. 2-1. An anxious crowd, you would say. This is probably the first time the finish line has been in sight for a South Australian side in maybe 4 decades. Great pick by Caminero. Wow. What a throw! Oh my goodness! Put this guy on the mound. Holy
smokes! Can play, man. It's fun to watch, and he just has no fear, and you know it's just fantastic. And look at that cannon.
Yeah. That's twice that he has attacked the baseball with venom.
What about the feet here? Look at that. Just look at that feet. Get himself going to the target, and a great throw.
And he sets those in throwing. He sets those feet so quickly you barely see them move.
That's right.
Pitch on the outside to Jared Rogers. He's 0 for 2, but he had a home run and a couple RBIs. It was a solo shot, and then he drove in the insurance runs for the Giants last night. Rogers, an incredible midseason pickup. He had gone 11 years between ABL home runs, and then he hit 2 in one game.
Back to back at bats.
Being called the Bomber for good reason.
In a good hitting position here.
There was a cool Instagram reel the Giants posted last night of Jared Rogers hopping along with some opera music playing to it. It's fun to watch. 2 outs here, 2-1 count. Swing and a miss.
Wow, that's a good pitch right there. So he got himself behind in the count. He's run that two-seam in beautifully.
Giants have been sat down now 7 in a row. And 10 of their last 11. Swing and a miss, make it 11 of 12. A big hold from Warwick Saupold. Keeps it a 1-run game going to the 8th. It's tight at West Beach. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Australian Baseball League at ondemand.baseball.com.au.
Follow on trends for today definitely is adverse to the way we look at risk. Gallagher really showed me that I was probably not in the best position with the way I was around my broker and the information I was getting fed. I sleep a lot better now knowing that Gallagher's got my back.
Middle of the lineup coming up for the Perth Heat. World Series winner Josh Reddick has been unbelievable all game or all year long. Ulrich Bojarski, MVP candidate. Alex Hall, MVP candidate. Chris Adamson knows this. He's going to throw out arguably the most in-form Australian pitcher in the world right now, and that's Mitch Neuenborn.
Yeah, Mitch has been outstanding for the Giants this year, and even more so in the playoff series. So he's going to go with his strength, and even though Mitch threw 2 1/3 inning or 2 2/3 innings last night, he was ready to go and said, "Coach, put me in if needed," and he's needed, and that's when he's coming in now.
Yeah, he threw 3 innings last night, threw 39 pitches. And normally you wouldn't see that backed up within 24 hours, but this is a very different night. This is the night to decide a championship, and you'll go that bit harder.
His 40 strikeouts and 28 innings all in the regular season. That ERA just second in the Australian Baseball League among Australian relievers. And it was sort of inflated by a 4-run outing in Geelong where the Giants gave up 23 runs in that game early in the season. Outside of that, Mitch Neuenborn has been just, they call him Big Pitch Mitch.
Yeah, they do. And as we talked about, the things that he has is he's got that 12-6 curveball that really drops out of the zone. He's got that fastball, the 4-seam that runs up beautifully. So between the 4-seam that comes up and the curveball that drops down, really hard to pick up. And also he's got a cutter that cuts late and a nice change-up.
That Geelong career game you mentioned, the 23 runs they allowed, that was after 2 weekends on the road. The Giants looked anything but an ABL CS team. Then they came home 3 sweeps later, put 12 wins in a row, and they were on their way.
He is Western Australian Mitch Neuenborn. He moved to Adelaide in 2020. He's been playing club ball locally with West Torrens. He had an 0.19 ERA last season in club ball to win the Pitcher of the Year. He has given a lot to the South Australian baseball community. He's given a lot to the Western Australian baseball community. And worlds collide for Mitch Neuenborn right now, and he pitches the biggest inning so far of the game. Neuenborn versus Reddick. And Reddick has just missed all game. First was a 4-pitch walk to O'Loughlin, and then he was behind 0-2, and he worked a walk, got himself in scoring position in the 3rd. In the 5th, he sent a moonshot just foul. He's been so close all game long. Fouls one back. First pitch on Reddick.
And a pretty big shift on here.
Perth looking to break through. It's not often you see them go scoreless 5 innings in a row.
No, it's not. As you say, feel the shifts on. Nick Ward, very shallow right field. He's on the grass. Martinez coming around into a second base double play position, and Wingrove hugging the line.
jammed in the infield. Martinez makes the play, one down.
Yeah, that's a great pitch by Mitch Newborn, busting in hard on Reddick's hands to get that pop-up.
Ulrich Bojarski steps up. He's 0 for 3.
His whole summer has been a revenge tour. After his time with Detroit came to an end, he has pulverised pitches all through the season. Today, yet to get on base.
0 for 4 last night, too. This guy is due. He's one of the league leaders in on-base plus slugging. Fouls one straight back, so he's seeing the ball okay, Bojarski. We'll see him in green and gold at the World Baseball Classic next month.
These two will probably be teammates.
Might have to make him a bigger uniform, though.
Yeah, he's a big man,
They're going to have to make those sleeves a little bit wider than normal. Well, he might not want them there, though. If I had pipes like that, you can.
0-2 count to Bojarski. Two former teammates going head-to-head. Flared foul.
You just see him working in the inside again there.
Yeah, and that's what Mitch does so well, is he just sneaks up on guys, and what they think is they're going to get that hit to it, they're just late on it and foul it off. Great pitching there by Newborn.
Well, you know, the long ball to the left side is going to be a tough one, you know, so they're aware of that there.
Pitch on the outside. Two in-form players going head-to-head whose confidence would be skyrocketed at the start of this series. Pitch up high, got away from Newborn a little bit.
Yeah, just don't try to overthrow that pitch a little bit.
But you're in that count where you can.
Yeah.
And he gets hold of that right. That's some bait for a hitter to swing at.
Full count. You feel like the Heat have a moment coming. It's felt like that for the last few innings. It's been a rope-to-dope for the Adelaide Giants the best part of the last few innings. Big strikeout from Mitch Newborn. That's his first of the night. It was O'Loughlin to McKillican to Ross and now Newborn. The Giants went to their closer in the bottom or the top of the third inning with 2 runners on.
Luckily for the Giants, they have 2.
That's right.
The Heat have left 7 base runners on to this point. Alex Hall. He scored the second Heat run. Heat scored 2 runs in the second inning and no ball left the infield. I love this quiet. This is just...
It's baseball right here, isn't it?
This season, this game deserved an epic conclusion. There haven't been a whole lot of championship series in Australian Baseball League history that have gone to Game 3. Only 7 in the 3-game series era, and that's out of 20. And not a whole lot of them have been close near the end of games. Yes, there's been a few of them. There's Todd Van Steensel. He was brought over to South Australia from Sydney to be the closer in a big moment. That moment is looming.
Four-pitch walk.
And the tying run is on with a World Series winner coming to the plate. The Heat broke up a nice stretch in Game 1 and scored 4 runs, all off 2 outs and a decisive inning in Game 1 to get the job done.
That was a good at-bat there by Alex Hall after having 2 strikeouts, to be patient with his at-bat, not trying to press and try to make things happen. Just trying to look for a pitch that he could drive and didn't get it. Gets the walk to bring Cosma up to bat.
Walks have been the one kryptonite to Mitch Neuenborn's season. Nothing outrageous, but something he'd certainly like to work on.
Yeah, that's a good point, Eric. When Neuenborn throws strikes, he gets guys out. When he gets behind in the count, he gets hurt.
That first pitch strike just so important for Mitch Neuenborn. Cosmo will be a tough out. For a strike.
You can hear a pin drop in between those pitches right there. The tension. And this settles right into Mitch Neuenborn's arsenal right here.
Tying run aboard. Go ahead run at the plate. Australia's best on the mound. World Series winner in the batter's box. 2 strikes. Cosma just stays on it.
You talk about 2-strike hitting and battling away there. You know, who told these imports when they come over that it's going to be super hot in Adelaide and Australia? They're sitting there blowing on their fingers there, just trying to get it all warm. And
what a direct opposite to the 37-degree night in Perth just 2 days ago.
Look at Kirian working behind the dish here.
Tried to work him inside.
And there's that 2-seam that runs straight in. Many a hitter would swing at that, get jammed on the hands. But Cosma, knowing his strike zone, getting a good read, laying off that pitch. All the 2s.
Fouled away. What an epic at-bat.
Been involved in some baseball games, called a few games in our time. This has got to be right up there with the best of the best.
A great game.
The tension.
The sunset, brilliant as well. Everything about it, giving this season a fitting ending, no matter which way this falls. Runner going. Swing and a miss. Mitch Neuenborn gets out of the 8th, and the Giants are an inning away.
That is a big pitch there, and a big out by Mitch Neuenborn. Unbelievable. Great pitching, throwing his locations, being able to get the pitch at the right time, and winning a big battle against the big leaguer in Cosma.
We've had
hats off to you, Mitch.
Huge at-bats to win the 7th and the 8th. Austin Ross did the job in the 7th with Caminero at the plate. And players on, and Mitch Neuenborn just did it then in the 8th. We're not up to the 9th yet. It's potential insurance time for the Giants to do so. I think Warwick Saupold is going to...
Well, Saupold's going to have to face Nick Ward, and Nick Ward's got to work Saupold this season.
Well, what's interesting right now is we're coming to the top of the lineup for the Adelaide Giants. Perth Heat 8-9-1 coming up to there. So
yeah, and you know Tim Kennelly's looming. You know he's the biggest of game hitters you can get in this country. You feel like the Giants need another run.
You got Bowie as well that's going to lead off. It's going to be game on. The Perth Heat are going to throw everything at the Adelaide Giants. So really an insurance run, 1 or 2 at best, if not more, would be ideal.
Warwick Saupold, the big leaguer, on the mound right now. This is such a crucial hold right now for the MLB arm. He's pitched in huge games, but Australians know that this means a great deal to baseball communities across the country. You heard Todd Van Steensel in the week say, I've won championships across the planet, but nothing would mean more than a Claxton Shield. This is our big leagues. This is what you dream of playing in when you grow up. And both of you have played in Claxton Shields, chasing that trophy. That has to be an accurate statement.
It certainly is. And you can see here you've got past players, the guys from the 43 years ago. Phil Burgess is sitting there in Melbourne watching this game on the stream. That means a lot to a lot of those players.
Under the sunset skies on beautiful Ghana land, Nick Ward stands in. Takes a strike. One count to Ward. Crowd hanging on every pitch. Grounded over to third. What a trap from Jake Bowie. Takes away a base hit. That's not an easy play in a huge moment.
Not an easy play at all, and you could see there Bowie making sure he got his feet underneath him and get it across to make that play, and then hustled out to take that bag. No need to make the throw. You don't want to have an area of an element of doubt, and really hustled up.
You know, you mentioned it at the start of the broadcast too, Scott, that defense was going to be critical, and Perth Heat have played great defense all night. Adelaide Giants have,
had that blip in the second.
Blip in the second where they scored 2, and that's the only 2 runs there. So,
how good has Bowie been at first? Man, the way he just stretches out. We've seen some picks. We've seen some plays.
Defensively, Perth have been lights out.
Anthony Carrion. He's only had a couple hits in the championship and in the playoffs, but man, oh man, how big was his hit last week? The bases clearing double got the Giants behind. To right field, charging onto it is Reddick. It's a difficult play. Diving back, it drops. The crowd erupts. Anthony Carrion's aboard.
Sometimes they drop, sometimes they don't. That one drops there and gives Adelaide Giants their first base runner in a couple of innings.
Perfect unintended placement by...
How's the heart and the hustle from Connor Owings trying to get that ball?
Unbelievable, threw everything at it.
It's a big moment right here in the ball game for the Adelaide Giants, getting that runner on.
Rickson Wingrove steps up to bat. Man that plays local club ball here in South Australia. He knows how much this means to the community. Been here 4 seasons, Rickson Wingrove, provided a lot of walk-off moments, and he is a fan favorite.
Yeah, he certainly is, and the guys in the dugout love him. I just had a little bit of a proud moment there as Rickson came up to the batter's box and he gave my young fella Seb a little high five on the way out there.
Carrion's got to be careful, but so do Saupold and Bowie. If that ball gets away, it's a crucial run in scoring position.
Well, you've got a double play position right here where you want to make sure you keep him in that force.
And a guy that hits into a double play a lot.
That's right.
The margin for error for both teams does not exist.
And Rickson gets himself into a good hitting count here. Warwick wouldn't want to be slotting something too good for Rickson. He is due for a long ball or something hard hit into the outfield.
Every time the Giants have needed a moment when they've been struggling, Rickson's usually delivered one. Hard hit ball, and he's delivered another. Runner's gonna go around second. Wingrove turning for 2. Carrion getting the wave around home. The relay's coming in. There's a play at the plate, and he slides in safe. Rickson has whipped the crowd up into a frenzy, and it's an insurance run for the Giants.
Great piece of hitting there by Rickson, pulling the ball down the right field line. A little bit of luck when it hits that corner of the fence there, and just bubbles off to the left. Another great piece of running there by Anthony Curion, but an even better piece of coaching there by Michael Dunn to score him, knowing that throw had to be right on the money, and it was. But Anthony Curion comes through with a great slide at home plate, brings the Giants to 2-4 up.
And for Rickson Wingrove, with 2 strikeouts and a 4-3.
Ball gets away. Wingrove scores. Runner into second. It's 5-2.
And the Perth Heat defence that had been so stellar all night, and Caminero that had been a highlights tape tonight at the death has had a critical error that has given the Giants a 3-run lead.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's that half volley. You've got to either come and get or you've got to stay back. And he chose to come and get it on the wheels of Lattimore, and he misses it.
Yeah, just stayed down, didn't it?
That's right. But just on Wingrove, 2 strikeouts and a ground out to second. We talked about it might not be your day, but it can be your moment.
Absolutely.
And right there, it was his moment, and he delivered.
Rickson Wingrove in his time here has provided walk-offs and magical moments. That hit with a bit of an assistance from the fence and the ricochet may be his most magical moment yet.
And listen to this crowd.
And it's not the way that a legend of Australian baseball would want to depart, but that's the downside of tonight. 2 great teams that have had 2 great seasons with a stack of stars. Someone's going to end up on the disappointed end. It's not over yet. It's 3 runs. There's 3 outs still to get, and we know that they're going to be the 3 hardest outs. But it's going to be easier for the Giants with 3 runs to protect than just the one they had at the start of this inning.
Great running there by Quirion. He could see that he had that look in his eye when Michael Dunn had sent him. He's like, okay, I've got to go make this happen. And even by Wingrove.
Yeah, I was just thinking exactly the same thing. You know, he just saw that throw go and missed the cutoff, which it had to miss the cutoff to make a play anyway. So he knew that ball was going to be going over there with Bowie letting it go. But you see that ball, wasn't far off. Yeah.
Connor Higgins is on the hill now for Perth.
Yeah, sees that there.
Great
you can
running.
see that there. He just saw that ball go over the...
Good pickup by Space Crate to
Yeah, really good
on
pickup.
that.
I'll tell you what, if you could somehow capture the power of emotion around this ballpark, you'd power the city for a week.
It means a lot. It means a lot to this ball club. It means a lot
to a generation.
To a generation. It does, mate.
Well, they talk about this game is a game of interest. Now, that ball bounces out and goes into almost no man's land. Reddick was running to cut it off down the line.
Yeah.
Now, he makes a good throw.
Yeah.
Now, if that ball didn't go where it
He had to
did,
stop and
he would've
restart
got him
again. He
out.
had to stop and restart.
That's right.
So
That's
to
just
reset,
a game of inches and luck.
Connor Higgins, the Perth closer, is on the hill. We have a player on second. It's 1 out.
McArdle swings on the first pitch, and this place would have just gone crazy. McArdle had a 2-run home run in the second inning that tied the game. He had a 3-run home run last night. He had a solo shot. The Giants got some insurance runs. Now they're looking for the knockout run. And McArdle knows it.
Well, there's no one hotter right now for the Adelaide Giants to be up to bat and free license to free swing and have a crack.
Swing and a miss, a big strikeout. Higgins lays back, and this is such an important run to keep off the ground. Michael Martinez steps up to bat, and how big was his hit in the 4th inning? that kept the inning alive and allowed Jared Carr to drive him home. It pushed McArdle into scoring position. It's the current go-ahead run. Martinez swings and misses, and now this feels like some anxious at-bats from the Giants. They know how much this is. This almost becomes harder for the Giants, knowing that it's so close.
Oh, definitely. These at this point in time, the heart's racing. You can see the finishing line, and you just want to run to it, but you got to take a deep breath and work your way through it.
Perth Heat aren't going to be, they're going to be going in there to score the runs. You talked about it earlier. You've got Tim Kennelly and start of the lineup, so this game ain't done yet.
What's Todd Van Steensel thinking down the first baseline?
Yeah, look, he's strikes. Yeah, through strikes, and that's exactly right.
Strikeout to end the inning, but the Adelaide Giants are 3 outs away. What a game it's been. The Heat struck first, 2 in the second. McArdle tied it up in the second. Carr gave them the lead in the third. The bullpen has been aggressive from both teams. Everybody's held until the Giants break 3 in the 8th. They have a 3-run lead, but Perth Heat, they've been the big inning team all season long. They need a big inning now to keep their championship hopes alive.
Yeah, they certainly do, Eric, and who better to come up to bat right now than they've got. You'd think normally in a competition 8-9-1, you think that it's not too much to worry about, but when you've got Bowie coming up to bat with the hot bat, although he hasn't been hot tonight, but you can expect he's going to come firing right now. Don't underestimate this Perth Heat. These 3 outs are the hardest outs in baseball.
And we see the Adelaide Giants dugout there, and all very composed. And Chris Adamson, the manager and the guy that's actually worked so hard at this ball club. And there's not much that he can do right now. He's got his guy out there, and he's got the lead. There's not much that Chris can do right now.
Well, Todd Van Steensel steps on the mound, and what a moment this is. Van Steensel has spent 13 years in the Australian Baseball League. Up until this weekend, he had never played in a Claxton Shield final. He's regarded as one of the greatest Australian arms of his day. He's won championships in Europe. He's won championships in Central America. He's won championships in the United States. He's never even been in a Claxton Shield final. Next year, he will become the all-time ABL games leader. And Todd Van Steensel gets the ball trying to close out his first championship and South Australia's first in 43 years. The moment couldn't be bigger. The batting lineup couldn't be more challenging. The pressure couldn't be greater. But it's a moment that South Australia has been dying to watch for a long time. Let's see what the Heat have.
And it starts with their hottest hitter this playoffs, Jake Bowie.
Bowie settles in versus Todd Van Steensel. Van Steensel started the season guns a-blazing, one of the best in the game. Went through a rough few weeks in the middle of it, including a 4-walk outing that blew a save, but since then he's been composed and he's got his stuff back, and that's why Tank Adamson trusts him in the biggest moment. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, he's been composed. He had that 2-inning outing against Geelong Korea straight after that Melbourne series, and just got his stuff back and got a bit of momentum.
Can they get a base runner for Tim Kennelly? It's an 0-2 count to Bowie. The hush, the fire outside.
Yeah, I like that. Just something a little bit out of the zone there.
That's right. And the way Quirion is just taking control and giving little signals like, come on, this is you. You can throw that. This is a big challenge.
Oh, you got someone with so much power up there and, wants to make contact and start something up for this Perth Heat team.
in the air. Spence charging on. Kirion charging on. It's in foul territory. Kirion dives. He made the catch. Anthony Kirion, are you kidding me?
That is one of the most unbelievable catches that I've ever seen. He had a look at where Spence was playing. He was playing shallow shortstop. He knew Spence wasn't going to get there. Kirion makes an outstanding catch. You have a look at this replay here. He had everything to contend with. A backhanded catch up against the wall. Adelaide Giants won out.
Watch him when he goes. He sees it.
He looked over it. He looked over at Spence.
It's a catch.
He see that Spence couldn't get it, and he had to go for it. Oh. Unbelievable catch.
It's a catch only.
Catches win matches.
Oh my goodness.
Oh. And the way he contorted the wrist to make the first out.
It's a catch only a hockey goalie could make, and that's what Kirion grew up playing as an ice hockey goalie. That's why he said he wanted to be a catcher, because he liked that pressure.
Mate, you saw his knee actually kind of dig in under there as well, too, so lucky he didn't come out injured, but Giants have one out.
Will Simonite, the AAA catcher from the Oakland Athletics. Swing and a miss. Giants are 1 out away. They have to get through the GOAT.
Well, Tim Kennelly, he's been in some big moments. He wants to start something up right now.
Look at the emotion on Todd Van Steensel's face. He's got to compose himself quickly. The job is not done. The Heat had that 2-out rally that scored 4 runs. Can they do it again? Van Steensel versus Kennelly. The Giants are the closest to a championship they've ever been. It's been 43 years, 4 decades, generations of players. They're close, but it's not over. Down in the dirt, and you just never know. A base runner just puts pressure on. This is all Tim Kennelly has to do, is put pressure.
What's interesting is the amount of cameras that are around now, just videoing this moment.
It's a big one, and we'll let the pictures do the talking. Todd Van Steensel settles in, 1-0 count. Laid off of it, and now a nice hitter's count for Tim Kennelly. The goal here is Kennelly on base, Owings on base, and give Junior Caminero a moment.
That is their goal.
The hardest out, the championship out, an out that no South Australian team has made for 4 decades. Van Steensel to Kennelly. Fouled away, 1 strike.
That's a good pitch to come back with. You know, 0-2, start off with some off-speed stuff there. Kennelly hanging with it. It's a good swing.
It's been a long wait, but the moment can be felt around the stadium. It's a ball.
Yeah, just overthrew that one a little bit of adrenaline running through TVS's body there. Another good hitting count for TK.
2 juggernauts of Australian baseball.
Oh yeah, it's a great matchup right now, Phil, and you know, TK knows the moment.
Hitters count to Kennelly, 1 out away from a championship for the Giants. It's a walk, and there's gonna be another batter in this game, and now that pressure will slowly start to build.
Yeah, it certainly is, Eric, and this is where players have got to take that deep breath and they've got to have a look at that, believe in himself. This is what baseball's all about. This is the moments that you wait for, the moments that you want to be as that player. You want the ball to be hit to you.
Yeah,
you want to be that batter.
Yeah, I was thinking
That's
the same
your
thing.
mindset right now.
Yeah, these fielders out here want to finish it with the ball.
The hitter, I want to be that hitter.
Yeah.
Connor Owings. Inside.
TVS just needs to regroup a little bit here. He's just overthrowing it a little bit.
And Perth Heat have done their homework. They know that they can get into him. They know that they can put the pressure on him.
Kennelly's been on base 3 at-bats in a row now. He has been terrific. 1-0 count. Owings trying to keep it alive. And Anthony Kirion needs to settle him down.
Yeah, well done, Kirion. He's done a great job all day. The way that he's kept them in the game, the way that he's managed the pitches has been outstanding. And right now at this point, he's just got to talk to him and say, you got to calm down. You just got to throw what you've been throwing all day.
For Todd Van Steensel, you heard him say, this is his big leagues. This would be a moment that he has thought of since he was 6 years old, first playing baseball in New South Wales. It's easy to overthink these moments when it actually comes. Can Van Steensel settle down and get the final out? And what's the leash on Van Steensel if the tying run comes to the plate?
Well, there'll be a visit. There definitely will be a visit. It'll slow the game down. It'll bring things back to a situation to talk it through.
2-0 pitch to Owings. Van Steensel deals. Swing and a miss.
Well, that's the thing with these Perth Heat hitters, that, you know, they're not going to sit there and die wondering either. You know, they're not going to let Van Steensel, you know, strike them out looking. They're going to be aggressive after it too, and you see that with that swing from Owings.
Two strikes. Todd Van Steensel and the Adelaide Giants are 1 strike away from ending an agonizing drought in South Australia. The 2-2 pitch.
Just might have to wait that 1 pitch longer. Good approach here by Owings. 2-2. You can feel the anticipation from the Adelaide Giants ball club and their fans. Perth Heat just want to keep this moment going for them a little bit longer. Todd Van Steensel.
Well, the Giants dugout has just urged this crowd to cheer him on. They're 1 strike away. Is this the moment they've been waiting for? Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Is this the moment?
Oh.
Full count.
Wow.
It's never easy, is it?
It is never easy. As we said, these 3 outs are the hardest outs in baseball. And this is where you got to breathe, you got to believe. And Perth Heat will not die quietly. They're staying here. They want it just as much as the Adelaide Giants.
Crowd on their feet in anticipation. 43 years of history. Watch with intent.
There it is! The Adelaide Giants are the ABL champions of 2023. Amazing scenes.
A championship generations in the making. A 43-year wait is over. The Claxton Shield is coming back to South Australia.
What a moment. something unbelievable for this club. You can see so many people, the emotions of so many people.
Well, a moment there for the Adelaide Giants. TVS delivering the final blow for the Adelaide Giants to win the Claxton Shield.
The last time that South Australia had the Claxton Shield, Malcolm Fraser was the Australian Prime Minister. Jimmy Carter was the US President. It's felt like an eternity. That last inning felt like an eternity,
you know.
But a state celebrates the breaking of a drought. Norrie's Claxton Shield that he donated in 1934, first won by South Australia, is coming home.
You know, well, I'm feeling it.
You wouldn't expect a finish any greater. That goes down to the wire against Perth Heat. They have been one of the best teams in the ABL for such a long time and are always around the mark and are always going to be a tough team to beat. If you're going to win it, you've got to earn it.
And look, you know, they played against a great opposition in Perth Heat. And, sorry, a little emotional.
And look,
so been a big.
And as much as there's jubilation and this crowd is losing its mind, if you're a Perth Heat fan right now, appreciate this is a crushing moment. Nothing we can say will change that. Coming so close, falling a game short, it's going to take a bit of time. But for the Perth Heat, it's been an amazing season, highlighted by last year's semi-final where they went to the best and beat the best in Brisbane. Daniel Schmidt's record-setting win. Road Series winning here in Adelaide. TJ's walk-off in Melbourne against Melbourne to seal it. The rise of Hall, Boyarsky in the playoffs, Bowie, and last Friday night with a massive crowd. Once tonight's disappointment fades, Perth Heat fans, you're a great organisation, and there's been some great moments to savour.
Yeah, well said, Phil. They certainly are. Great organisation, and they'll battle back. This is going to hurt them a little bit, but, you know, the Adelaide Giants wanted it from the start. When they had that 12-game winning streak earlier in the year, they could feel it, you know, coming back from Geelong. But no, their last 3 weeks of baseball, 4 weeks of baseball has been unbelievable, and you know it's been great to see. You know, the bullpen has been so strong, scoring runs when they needed to. You know, hitting hasn't been their forte.
And what we've got to talk about as well with the Adelaide Giants is, led by Chris Adamson, GM Nathan Davison, they recruited this team together. They brought it together. There's a great organisation behind with Michael Dunn coaching. We've got also Scotty Gladstone doing a great job with
Tyler
Marks. So the coaching staff have been outstanding. And the theme that they've had is come and play, come and win, come and have some fun.
Yeah, the other thing I actually want to mention too, and is our fellow broadcaster, and Eric Bowner. Now, he's not here right now, and for those that don't know, Eric is also very heavily involved in the back end, and you know, he's gone down to the ground now, and you can see him, how emotional he is, and he does a fantastic on the back end of this ball club. You just don't know how much work that guy does, and
that's right.
You know, it means just so much for him and so many of the people that work in the back. And you know, Scotty, I know how much this means to you as well, and you know, we had a good call over the last couple of nights, and making sure that, you know, we gave it.
As we speak, there's a construction site near the pitcher's mound. We're going to have the presentations, could be very, very shortly. So we'll go down to them as soon as they are ready to go. And I think they're going to go pretty quickly. Scott Pratt, a quick final word.
Oh, look, I think what I like the most out of the Adelaide Giants today, and Craig, you talked about it earlier, was the pitching and the outstanding work through the pitching through the whole day today. And some interesting guys. Ross came in, did an outstanding job. Newborn as well. And then TVS to
Look,
finish
there's
it
some
off.
clutch hitting that I saw that was fantastic, and you know, especially in that 8th inning, just to go and get those runs there, just secured that for the Adelaide Giants.
Jordan McArdle.
Yeah.
What a series.
Craig, Eric is where he needs to be. We'll cover him. It has been an honour. and a pleasure to work with you this season. The Spacequake Sports crew has been brilliant tonight. They've been lights out. Everything that we've needed to see the angle of, they've given us something perfect. So to Brandon, our producer, well done. Let's go down to present a trophy.
Presentation of the Claxon Shield for the season 2023 is coming at you real soon.
All right, well, we might be back, or are we off? Okay, we'll keep talking, because they're going to be back real soon. And just a final thought, maybe the Australian Baseball League, a season of recovery, of restoration this year. And I mean, we're biased because our team won, but the crowds, the vibe, the final week, the playoffs, fantastic finish to the season.
Well, what it has shown also is it's shown that baseball in Australia is alive and kicking. When we see all the crowds that have come out at the back end of the season, come out for the finals, the championships, really shows that baseball has taken off here.
And I can remember when Adelaide had the series at Norwood and a huge crowd. It went to extras, Perth won it, and they didn't quite get the same crowd the next day. It was a lunchtime Sunday,
right.
Lost the vibe, lost the energy, Perth won. Just as many people, pretty much, just as much vibe tonight. It's been fantastic. And there's so many people, you think about the club, their 5th ABL CS, and the people that have been there for so long, who must have thought, are we ever gonna win this thing?
Well, you're right, Phil, because we've lost some hard ones.
Yeah.
Adelaide Giants have had some tough ones that they've lost just when they thought they could win it, just when they were right there. Lose those, especially those home finals. They're tough to lose.
So Perth Heat have 4 titles, Brisbane 4, Melbourne 2, Canberra 1, and now
Ladies
Adelaide
and gentlemen, boys and
have a
girls,
title. Good night.
Dicolour Australia Stadium has never been as loud as it is now. 43 years in the making. The Claxon Shield makes its way back here in 2023. My name is Trent Kosh. It's an absolute honour to be your Master of Ceremonies here this evening. This week has been a wonderful championship series. Over in Perth on Friday night, the Perth Heat was simply sensational, and the Adelaide boys had to bring it back here to Dicolour Australia Stadium to then close it out for the 2023 Claxon Shield. Put your hands together for the Perth Heat and your Adelaide Giants. Not only do we have fans here in Perth and across the country, but across the globe, tuning in all season long, right on demand, baseball.com.au. Many thanks to those fans across the globe tuning in all season long. Joining me here on stage tonight, CEO of Baseball Australia, Mr. Glenn Williams, South Australian native and Australian Baseball Hall of Famer, the 7th Australian to play in the Major League Baseballs, Mr. Shane Bennett. Representing Gallagher, our major partner of the ABL semi-final and championship series, team leader of commercial and corporate, Kelly Qualman. The general manager of the Australian Baseball League, Mr. Paul Gonzalez. And Baseball Australia, marketing, media and communications manager, Caitlin Mason. I would now welcome to the microphone CEO Baseball Australia to say a few words, Mr. Glenn Williams.
Well, thanks for everyone turning out to what was a great Game 3 of the ABL Championship Series. A fantastic series to cap off a fantastic 2022-23 ABL season. Put your hands together for both teams, please. That was fantastic. Firstly, I'd like to be able to thank Gallagher for supporting the ABL semi-finals and the ABL Championship Series, a great partner for the Australian Baseball League and Baseball Australia, so thank you to Gallagher. And to the Perth Heat and the Adelaide Giants, their ownership, the management, the volunteers, the game day staff, the broadcasters who put together one of the best ABL Championship Series we've seen. 3 straight sellouts here at the ballpark. Fans turning out in droves and a great series, so thanks to both teams. A special thanks to the umpires and scorers from all across the ABL season this year, doing a fantastic job and getting out to each and every game, scoring the games, putting the stats out there for the season and the league, and to the umpires coming in, week out, giving their very best effort. Thank you to our game officials, umpires and scorers. Want to acknowledge and put a really good appreciation out there for the ownership and management, the volunteers, the game day staff, the teams, the players, the coaches of all 8 of our ABL teams this year. We've had a rough trot over the last few years, and to be able to see the ABL back in 22-23, the commitment that these teams put in to be able to put baseball on during the summer is fantastic. They've all done a great job. We've appreciated the fan support of coming out, and we really, really appreciate the continued effort and commitment by all 8 teams to be able to help grow baseball in Australia. A special thanks to my team, the ABL, led by Paul Gonzalez and Caitlin Mason, a small crew who work really, really hard. Huge baseball fans. They love it as much as the teams do. They love it as much as the fans do. Countless hours every weekend, doing what we can to be able to help promote our sport. We've got a ways to go, but we'll continue to build on this and build off a great platform that they've put together. So thank you to my team, especially led by Paul and Caitlin this year. And last but definitely not least, to all the ABL fans out there who turn up week in, week out, turned out in droves this year to ABL games, stuck by us through some difficult times, and to be able to see the stands full over the last 3 nights, to see people tuning in, to see people out there with Giants gear on, to see people out there with Perth Heat gear on, and coming out and supporting the ABL. We thank you so much. Fans of the lifeblood of our league, obviously. We'd love to be able to see you back again in 23-24. Bring your family, bring your friends, tell them how great a product is, and we really look forward to that. Congratulations to both teams again for putting on such a great show, and I'll turn it back over to Trent. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn. Shortly we'll hear from both team managers, but before we do, we have a very special presentation. It is the 2023 Australian Baseball League Championship Series MVP. And to present the awards, please put your hands together once again for Mr. Shane Bennett, Australian Baseball Hall of Fame, and Kelly Qualman of Gallagher.
The MVP is Jordan McArdle.
Very well deserved. And ladies and gentlemen, you would agree with me, no doubt, that the competition put up against your Adelaide Giants has been simply superb. Led by both veterans and a sprinkling of youth through the roster. They've truly done themselves and their Perth Heat fans proud all season long. You may not realise, only a week ago they amassed 24 runs in 2 games to get to the Championship Series, and they deserve all the accolades that come their way. We'd like to acknowledge the Perth Heat chairman, Rory Vassallo, and Captain Tim Kennelly in particular, and the entire Heat organisation. And please keep the applause going for Team Manager Andy Kyle.
Yeah, just quickly, thanks to Willow, Gonzo and the ABL for another great year. On our behalf, just quickly, thank you to the ownership group, the operations, Steve and Lockie particularly, and all the staff that work back home to allow us to do what we do. To our crowd that came over, thank you very much. To the crowd back home, all right. Our crowd and support has been awesome the last few weeks, and we continue to get record crowds and hopefully continue to grow the game back home and across the country. To my staff, just so much appreciation for what you guys do. I couldn't ask for better help and support. To DK, Gonzo, Pettit, D, Aaron and also Luke back home, thank you very much. Also to the, obviously personally to my wife and kids allowing me to do this, but also all the other wives, girlfriends and family that allow us to compete and come out here on a weekly basis and play. We don't do it for the money, we do it for the love, so thank you very much. To the playing group, super proud of you guys. You've earned the spot to be here, and I'm sorry we couldn't bring it home this year. We'll continue to grind it out, keep getting better, and you guys continue to be great teammates and great people both on the field and off the field. So thank you very much for the year. Addo and your staff, mate, congratulations. You've had a great year, mate. You guys are a professional group, exciting group of players, and you earned the right this weekend. In the last two games, you just pitched the hell out of it. So to you guys, congratulations. Enjoy. I know it's been a long time coming. So, and Geordie, all right, congratulations on a great weekend, mate. So that's all I got. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Andy, and to the Perth Heat organisation. We now would like to call upon our match officials with CEO Baseball Australia Glenn Williams to present them a token of appreciation. Your umpiring crew for this evening, please put your hands together for Trent Thomas, Matthew Pearson, Paul Latta and Tom West. We would also like to recognise our scoring crew back in Perth from Friday night, Natalie Todd, Jodie Hardy and Andrew Todd. Our Adelaide scorers for Saturday, Enza Henty, Lorraine Dunn and Carol Burns. And with us tonight, our scorers from this evening, Enza Henty, Laura Mosel and Mike Phillips. We turn our attention now to the Adelaide Giants, the ownership group in particular of the Adelaide Giants. A very, very big thank you to the team from Pellegro who have joined us here tonight. You would have heard them earlier. Nathan Davidson, General Manager of the Adelaide Giants. Team Manager Chris Adamson and your captain, Jordan McArdle. Amongst this leadership group stands a bunch of fine young men behind them, and they thoroughly enjoy the support of the full crowd from the Adelaide Giants and the support all season long. It was that support that took them to a record midway through the season, 12 wins in a row. That is a modern day ABL record. Game after game, we've seen dominating pitching, the efficiency of the offense, and of course, the energy that comes with your Adelaide Giants. Down one game in Perth on Friday night, it was all in front of your team. They came back here, they did the job last night, and once again, they did the job tonight. Put your hands together for your team manager, Chris Adamson.
First off, to Perth, AK and your group, just outstanding. You guys are warriors, and every time we play, we know it's a dogfight. So thank you for everything. Congrats on a great season. To our ownership group, Peligra, first off, just a huge thank you for keeping us on the field. I know the last couple of years has been tough, and I can't thank you enough for just keeping us here and having a chance to do what we do on a daily basis. So thank you very much. To the ABL, Gallagher, sponsors of the series right here, SA Power Networks who have been with us for a long time, Full Hammer and Zambreros, just thank you again. We wouldn't be on this field without you guys, so again, I can't thank you enough. To our volunteers, Ainsley does an outstanding job leading everything. A lot of people giving up time to come out here and work their butts off on a daily basis, so thank you. To all of our friends and family, I know, Prue, you've ridden this wave with me for quite a while. It's just outstanding support. This state is a huge baseball state, and hopefully we made you guys proud this weekend. Thank you so much. And lastly, to our guys, Davo, it's been a wild ride, man, so thank you for allowing me to be on this journey. To my staff, it's outstanding. You see me in some pretty foul moods, so I apologise for that. But, to our guys, I just want to thank you for allowing me to be part of this. This has been something special, and we did something cool, so thank you. And just to reiterate what Willow said, just thank you so much for turning up this weekend, both in Perth and here. It's just been outstanding. It's made the guys feel special, and it's been really, really cool to be a part of. So thank you to all the fans again. It's been absolutely unreal. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. I now invite Paul Pellegra, the CEO of Pellegra, and Stephen Wren, the Director of Pellegra South Australia, to present the medallions to your Adelaide Giants. If the Adelaide Giants could come forward. Dylan Unsworth. Michael Martinez. Jack Partington. Liam Spence. Jack O'Loughlin. Nathan van der Linden. Nathan van der Linden. Jared Carr. Josh Tolles. Jordan Fowler. Geordie Gross. Geordie Gross. Todd Van Steensel. Mitch Nieuwenborn. Luke Wilkins. Jared Large. Jason Lott. Anthony Kirion. Jared Rogers. Ian Walters. Tom Fitzgerald. Austin Ross. Ryan January. Bobby Rossman. Joe Johnson. Adam McKillican. Quincy Lattimore. Nick Ward. Starlin Castillo. Riley Yeatman. Liam Bull. How good is this? Rickson Wingrove. And lady, the last player listed here on the roster this evening, your captain, Jordan McArdle. To present the Claxton Shield to your Adelaide Giants for the season of 2023, I welcome back to the stage CEO of Baseball Australia, Mr. Glenn Williams. Chris Adamson, if you'd like to come forward. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2023 Claxton Shield champions, the Adelaide Giants!
And there you have it. Well, time to wrap it up. and start the commiserations or the celebrations. On behalf of my ABL callers in Perth, Paul Morgan, Luke Hughes and Simon Isons, and here in Adelaide, Eric Bolnar, Scott Pratt and Craig Watts, I'm Phil Hurden saying thank you all so much for watching. Commiserations Perth, a mighty season, a mighty series, a mighty club. And congratulations Adelaide. Enjoy having the Claxton Shield finally home. Final score, Adelaide Giants 5, Perth Heat 2. And for the final time this ABL season, good night from West Beach.